That's a team, gentlemen. Hell yeah. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals. That's football, guys. That's all it is. Now, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah.
We are down Danny Burke for but one more day off living his best life in Jamaica, but you have the two of us, Daniel Collins, Sweatpants Jesus, better known as SPJ, Adam Kaufman. It's great to be here with you. Kind of great. It's kind of great to be here with you. Here's the good news. We're going to lay all this out, SPJ. It was for a third straight show, profit for the show. I tried my best to screw it up, but you went 3-0 across your plays. I lost the one play that I gave out, which was the Rams to cover. They didn't even win, let alone cover. I mean, it's a good thing we didn't have multiple plays on them and teasers and all of that stuff. Hey, raise your hand, guys, if you were not bitten by the Rams in a money line parlay to kick off the week. Yeah, that's how a lot.
Or in Survivor. I saw a lot of people had them in Survivors as well this week, which was painful to see.
Tanked a good chunk of people in Survivor before we even get to the weekend. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the hardest part. I built out a money line parlay, 6-7 teams that I expected to win, and I figured the Rams were a free square to just get me to Sunday. I thought maybe Sunday morning, the London game, including the Vikings, I might be sweating on that a little bit before we get into the main slate. I didn't think I had to worry about getting through Thursday night football. Credit to the injury ravaged, as we discussed, San Francisco 49ers yesterday. We told you we felt like both passing props were a little bit low. You leaned into Mac Jones, who was an animal, gritty, gutting his way through injury in that game, leaning on Kendrick Bourne like he was Jerry Rice. Did his best Puka Nacua impression with 10 catches, upwards of almost 150 yards, more than 100 from scrimmage from Christian McCaffrey. We told you rushing plus receiving, didn't we? We had a whole long conversation about it, and he went for almost 150 as well. Found the end zone. The Niners don't only cover, they win outright, and they do it on the road, and they do it in overtime. When I gotta say, SPJ, maybe the most upsetting part of the whole thing with I could get over the Rams not covering. I realized that was a big number, especially with the hook outside the touchdown. But Kyron Williams, a la Derrick Henry, it feels like, fumbling on the 1-yard line late in regulation with an opportunity to what I think would have probably sealed that win for LA. I know they still did what they had to do defensively and got the ball back and kicked the last-second field goal to force overtime, and then they get to the overtime and they give up the field goal, and then McVay, because he so very clearly did not trust his defense to get a stop coming back the other way, decides to go for it on 4th and 1 from very reasonable field goal range, borderline in today's day chip shot field goal range, and goes for the whole thing. Didn't want to lose it on the other end defensively. So he trusts in his offense that had been 2 for 2 in fairness on 4th down conversions in that game. But the play call is just run it up the gut. Let's just try and run it right up the middle. There was no creativity in there whatsoever after failing to draw the Niners off sides. It was, I know I keep talking and talking and talking. I'm just so fucking upset about it that it really, I couldn't believe what I was watching. And for that to happen on the heels of my Red Sox getting knocked out, literally right after my Red Sox fall to the Yankees, and then I'm invested every which way, but sideways on the Rams. And then they fall apart too. Just a stupid Thursday is what that was.
Chat, just so you know, we got a text from Adam last night in our group chat that said, fuck the Red Sox, fuck the Rams. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. He didn't say that specifically, but that was the gist.
I may as well have. I mean, that was how I felt.
And yeah, that's pretty much what I got the gist of it. No, it was, I mean, as a guy who likes we talked about it yesterday. I like the Rams a lot. They're my side piece. And I mean, that team could be 5-0. Like, they really pissed that game away at the end yesterday.
So could
the
cover
Rams.
Was
that's what I'm saying. The Rams could be 5-0.
I thought you meant the Niners, because the Niners could be too, but go ahead.
Well, for sure. No, the Rams could totally be 5-0 based upon that crazy ending of the Philadelphia game. And then obviously last night, what you talked about with the weird things happening at the fumbling at the goal line and then not going for the field goal to tie the game to, maybe get the ball back and win it again. I don't hate the decision to go for it on 4th down, because you trust Matthew Stafford, and Sean McVay has lived and died by that sword pretty much his entire time as the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams. I just don't like the play call, like you said. I don't understand why you try to get them to draw offsides like that, and then you take the timeout, you're still going for it, and then you just decide to run it up the gut. Like, there was no fancy. And I mean, they had a play earlier in that drive where they went for it on 4th down, and Kyren Williams ran an option route out of the backfield, and Matthew Stafford hit him in stride, and they got like 10 or 15 yards on like a 4th and 2. Why are we trying to, pretend that we're this power football team? Like, let Matthew Stafford. I would rather have Matthew Stafford have the ball in his hands in that situation. But then
100%.
You throw a play, right? And then maybe they don't get it. And people are like, why is 1 yard? Why aren't you just running the ball and getting the yard? So you can't win in either of those situations if you don't get the first down, right? But we talked about it yesterday. Both of these quarterbacks balled. I thought the offenses looked good. And I thought the defenses actually had a lot to say in this game too. But this was a typical Thursday night football game, man. Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels have not been struggling for good games this season so far. And another one in this divisional Thursday night, just slobber knocker juggernauts going head to head, toe to toe. Kirk Herbstreit starting off the show, Adam, yesterday before the game even started, kind of teed it up and said, 2 weeks ago, we watched the Miami Dolphins as we thought they were going to get railroaded by the Bills come in and make this a competitive football game. People are thinking the Rams are just going to roll the 49ers. I don't think so. Let's see what happens in this game. And, of course, the Niners just from start to finish, that looked awesome. Mac Jones, shout out Mac Jones, cashed my bet, obviously, but looked fantastic leading this football team. I think I've heard a lot of people kind of chattering about this on the timeline today about, why did they pay Brock Purdy the money? And you guys probably saw the interview that Mac had after the game where he said, I'm the backup quarterback of this team. I've had backups in the past when I was a starter, and I expect my backup to go in and win football games because that is what you're supposed to do. And those wins could be the difference in you not making the playoffs at the end of the season versus making the playoffs. And that's what he said. It was like, this was my job. I'm the backup for this team. That's what I'm being paid to do. Brock is still the starter. He went out there last week and got even more injured and couldn't come out this week and do his job. So my job is to go in and win. And what has he done? He's gone in and he's won. So you got to commend this guy for doing his job, and got a Kyle Shanahan, man, boogeyman of Sean McVay, dude. It's crazy for me as a Rams bettor. 9.5 wins is their win total for the season, and they're my side piece. So I want them to win games, right? And I feel like yesterday they kind of pissed this one away. I don't know if they just came in a little bit unprepared for this team, but it just felt like they got knocked in the teeth to start, and then they never quite caught up until it was almost too late at the end. How many times can you pull the rabbit out of the hat if you're the Rams?
Yeah, I mean, they go down 14-0, what felt immediately. And then in the third quarter, mid-third, they're down 20-7 before they start to mount that comeback. Nevertheless, 4-1 now the Niners. Again, 3-0, as you said, with Mac Jones. They are the even money favorites to win the NFC West. The Rams, I do still see some value there at right around plus 250 to win that division because, again, the Niners, they've got so many injuries. I mean, over the course of time, you would think they're going to get healthier, but then another injury happens. We already know Nick Bosa is out for the year at this point in time. George Kittle is still sidelined. Brandon Ayuk is not yet back. Christian McCaffrey, here's hoping an injury doesn't happen. Ricky Pearsall was out this past week. So was Juwan Jennings, who's been playing through something basically all year long. Kendrick Bourne, great, that rapport. We talked about it yesterday, the rapport that he has with Mac Jones from their time with the Patriots. And obviously that was on full display last night, but holy moly. Yeah. We see in the chat, whoever thought about pairing Mac Jones and Bourne is a genius. Wish my team did that. Oh, wait. Yeah, tell
Gerald's
me
also
about
a
it.
Patriots fan. Yeah, so he feels
Tell me
your
about
pain
it.
there.
I get it.
Yeah.
You know what the Patriots needed, and I can't believe I'm saying this about a Bill Belichick team. Coaching. Patriots team needed coaching. Listen, somebody tweeted this out last night, a friend of mine. I think it's, worthy of, we're not going to do it right now. We got a bunch of games to preview for the weekend, but just sort of mentioning the fact that, maybe, just maybe, Mac Jones is a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL, guys. Obviously, that's not going to be with the Niners unless they cut ties with a massive dead cap situation with Brock Purdy or find a taker if they can trade him away. Shanahan, as we know, has liked Mac Jones going all the way back to the draft and ultimately was kind of overruled and took Trey Lance, and we saw how that worked out. That dude is a legitimate backup. But Mac Jones, in his rookie year, was a Pro Bowler in New England.
Yeah,
now, you could say by like de facto Pro Bowler because enough guys said no, that sort of thing. We know how it works with the Pro Bowl. Nevertheless, it's on his resume. It's on his Pro Football Reference page. Dude made it. Dude was there. And, if not for the fact that Bill Belichick, one, showed no confidence in him, continuously benched him, dicked around with him in the whole Bailey Zappi back and forth situation, started to ignore him, literally was not communicating with his quarterback. Everything was going through the coordinators. Josh McDaniels left. He wasn't fired, but Josh McDaniels leaves and he replaces him with, a defensive mind in Mac Patricia, as well as Joe Judge, an offensive line coach. These are the guys that were calling offensive plays for Mac Jones. It's no wonder everything went in the damn toilet for the Patriots. But then he goes to Jacksonville after everything went to hell, and again was the backup, but honestly outplayed Trevor Lawrence in the opportunities that he did have. It was a terrible team.
Sure.
He didn't play well, but he played better than Lawrence. And
He
now
made Brian
he is
Thomas
at the
Jr.
very
look
least,
like a Hall of Famer last season.
and he's at the very least, he's on the level of Brock Purdy right now. And I've never been a big Brock Purdy guy. So this same commenter in the chat, Mac Jones just added $10 million to his Saints contract next year, where if that's the case, he will suck again, by the way, because you need to have good coaching and some stuff around you.
Adam, this is our friend Gerald, by the way. It's not his actual real name, but this is a friend of the program for like 2.5 years. He'll be in the chat.
Oh,
quite
well,
often,
hello,
so
Gerald.
you can,
good.
Yes. His actual name's not Gerald, but we call him Gerald. So
good. Well, Gerald,
but
welcome.
he's also a Pats fan, so he feels you. We don't have time to go into this any further because we got a show directly after us, which doesn't usually happen in this program, so we can go long. But it just goes to show that generational quarterbacks get drafted. Patrick Mahomes just don't grow on trees, right? And Patrick Mahomes obviously is supposed to fit into a system. He has talent around him, but he is a generational talent at the quarterback position. Everybody else in the NFL can be good if you put them in the right system. This is more about the fact that Kyle Shanahan obviously has a system that works if the quarterback skill set fits that system. And that's true for about, I would say, 80% of successful NFL franchises is you have a quarterback that fits into this. I saw the Tennessee Titans do it with Ryan Tannehill 4 or 5 years ago. Ryan Tannehill is not a generational talent at quarterback. He's a good quarterback. No. He can make all the throws. He can do the things. But if you find that perfect mixture of the offensive coordinator's system fitting with the talents and the benefits of the quarterback, you're going to be successful. And that is what every team, I think that we've gotten obsessed as a culture and also as an NFL like fandomness in the league in general is trying to find the next generational talent. And obviously that's what you're supposed to do. But you can also just find a guy that fits the system that gets you wins. The Minnesota Vikings won 14 games last year with Sam Darnold starting. Baker Mayfield came out of nowhere as a third-string quarterback for the Carolina Panthers for 2 seasons after being a number 1 overall pick. And look at the Tampa Bay Bucks. We've seen it time and time again. It's about quarterbacks fitting with the coaching around them and the roster as well versus this guy hopefully is just the next coming of Jesus Christ at the quarterback position. Tom Brady was a 7th-round pick. You know this as a Pats fan. Sure. Would you think, looking at Tom Brady and all of his statistical, like Tom Brady is not a generational quarterback, in my opinion. He has the noggin to be able to make all the throws. And because of the situation he came into on the team that he was on, and because of the situation that he ended up developing for himself, he turned into the greatest quarterback of all time. That is not because of the talent necessarily that he came out of college with, right?
He's not. So he's not an elite athlete, but he is. Exactly. But he is. Exactly. He's still very physically capable, obviously, and like you said, his biggest asset, his biggest muscle, is that brain up there and work ethic. That's a dude that put everything, including his family life, at football in front of it all. So, but again, That's a whole long thing. Like you said, we've got 45 more minutes. We got a dozen or so games to get through here on this upcoming Sunday. And so, again, couple things. If you're joining us late, the way we like to do these Friday shows is we'll spend a few minutes on each game, give you plays if we have them on each one, but at the very least discuss them. We tend to give out a lot of plays on Fridays leading into the Sunday, and usually we are profitable, or at least in that vicinity of profitable, maybe up or down within a unit. Like that's how many plays it sort of evens out. We have been profitable now in 3 straight shows, brings us to minus 13 and a half units. But again, that was 17 and a half a couple of shows ago. So we're chipping away,
under
baby.
10. Let's get it
we're
under
chipping
10
away.
by the start of next week. Yeah.
That would be nice. That'd be a nice big weekend. Let's get into it here. And we begin in jolly old England, where the Vikings will face the Browns. Minnesota continues to have Carson Wentz. J.J. McCarthy is not available in this game. Wentz, little protection against a tough Steelers front last week in Dublin. Injuries along that offensive line. The Browns, as we know, an elite defensive front, made Jordan Love and company's life a little miserable when they upset the Packers late in that game for their only win so far this year. Minnesota is a 3.5 point favorite. That is actually less than what it was, -7 at open. I think that's some level of respect for the Browns defense. Total in this one, 35.5 to 36.5, depending on where you do your shopping, but well below the 41.5 that it opened at. Browns are excellent against the run, so offense could be hard to come by for Minnesota here in this one. Vikings, people talk about body clock in these situations when you've already been overseas and now there's another team coming overseas. Like we obviously saw the Jaguars, the far inferior Jaguars just stifled the Bills because they were playing the second game overseas and Buffalo came over for the first, and it was ugly for the heavily favored Bills in that game. So people look at that as an instant advantage here for Minnesota, never mind inferior competition in the form of the Browns on the other side. Big thing for Browns, no Joe Flacco. He's been benched. It's going to be Dylan Gabriel making his first career start opposite a very difficult Brian Flores defense on the other side. And could be a good matchup for Quinshon Judkins, the running back. Judkins, because obviously the Browns are not as strong, or the Vikings not as strong against the run. So we'll see how that all ends up playing out. I will also mention, before I let you go, just some trends. We always like to cite trends when we have them. Favorites in international games: 36, 14, and 1 straight up, 32 and 19 against the spread. The Vikings, of course, lost last week as a favorite against Pittsburgh in Dublin. That plays into those numbers I just gave you. Kevin O'Connell read this one earlier. 4-0 against the spread after losing as a favorite. Small sample size, but fun to mention nonetheless. How do you see this one going?
I don't like this game at all. You get the whole Dylan Gabriel thing coming in. Maybe they get a little quarterback boost. This Browns defense has been awesome to start the season. Yep. So, the defense has been doing their part. The offense has just been anemic, and I think the Joe Flacco situation ended probably a little bit earlier than we maybe all thought, but the end was coming at any particular point. So, I don't like this game at all. The Browns defense is good enough to where Carson Wentz might be in fits in this situation. It's a tough situation to have to travel. The Vikings have been in London since last week, so the Browns are coming in not maybe as acclimated to the time zone like you mentioned. So I don't have any plays in this game. I don't like this game. I don't like any props. Nothing really stood out to me. I might have some stuff for the Judkins angle you mentioned as well. Hard to not want to look maybe at some Addison stock too. He looked really good last week, obviously with that huge bomb kind of coming back and getting back involved with this offense. That was one thing that kind of piqued my interest too, but nothing official for me. I will say that Danny wrote about this game at bettingnews.com. You guys can go peep his scribbles, and he's not with us today, obviously, but a show official play for Danny is the Vikings -3.5. He does have the Vikings in this game. Not going to sell it for you. You can go read his article, but he is on the Vikings in this one. And I think that's probably the side I'd want to be on too. But again, this game stinks. I don't really want to get involved with it from a betting perspective whatsoever.
So I don't have anything show official in this one. If you want to, I like to do this every week just for funsies. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. But if you're throwing caution to the wind with the money line parlays, I would be comfortable including the Vikings in that and sweating it out Sunday morning first thing. All that being said, and again, not show official, so I am not going head-to-head with Danny. If I was to just play the straight, I would take the Browns plus 3.5. All right, next game, because the horn means move on. Giants and Saints. Ugh, like, does this get, at least it's not in prime time. Giants are 1-3, 0-2 on the road. The Saints 0-4, looking for their first win. They are 0-2 at home. New Orleans is actually a favorite in this game, which I think is downright offensive to the Giants. 1.5 to 2.5 point favorites from 1.5 point dogs originally. Total 41.5 to 42.5. That's consistent with open. As we know, the Giants coming off the emotionally charged win at home over the Chargers last time out. No pun intended there, I guess. Malik Neighbors is out for the season with a leg injury, and so Jackson Dart, who was electric in his debut, has just a little bit less to work with. And I'm talking about Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, guys like that, who maybe project well. It's not a great matchup for Cam Scatteraboo, so it could be more of a passing game here in this one for Dart. Saints can't get to the QB. Only 41 pressures so far this year. The Giants will pressure a fair amount, north of 80. So Spencer Rattler probably will be, here's a pun that's intended, rattled, hounded, forced into more turnovers. The Giants just got multiple turnovers out of Justin Herbert last week, and that is not something that he does on the regular. The Giants' run defense is bad, so that sets up well for Alvin Kamara. A trend, Saints, the 9th team to start 0-4 or worse and be favored in a game since 2015. The previous 8 went 1-16-1 against the spread. It's not a show official play. I am thinking about maybe doing something that's teaser related that I would make show official, but I'm not quite there yet because I'm trying to think of a partner. But if I'm playing this one straight, SPJ, I think the Giants, the dog, win this thing outright. I don't need the plus 2.5. I think I'd take them on the money line.
Yeah, this game's weird. The Saints are not very good, but they've been frisky. The Giants are coming off, like you mentioned, that kind of getting that first quarterback coming in and beating the Chargers, a team they were probably not really ever supposed to beat because the Chargers just came in and maybe overlooked them a little bit. I don't like this game from a side perspective at all. Our friend Trizzy on his staff article actually just texted me before we got started that he likes the Saints in this game. The money line is something that they like. I can see the way that you're talking about this. The Giants, maybe Jackson Dart comes in and, does a bit more action and maybe they get the job done. So from a side or a total perspective, I have no thoughts on this game. I do have a prop that I like in this game, though. I really like Jackson Dart's rushing yards over 36.5. I like you mentioned, he's getting off the second start. Maybe he does throw the ball around a little bit more, but in that game against the Chargers, he scored a rushing touchdown. He had 10 carries for 54 yards, a guy who was very elusive. And I think that the Saints defense is probably going to give him a little bit of fits. This is a pretty good defensive unit. He's probably going to make it a little more complicated for him in the passing department, and he's going to want to bail out of the pocket and scramble around some. Maybe they even do some designed runs in this situation too. So I think Daboll is going to make it even more and more comfortable and more enticing for Dart to get more and more comfortable as the weeks continue. And I think that you need to utilize his legs. Like I said, 10 carries last week for 54 yards against a good Chargers defense. Last point on this, Josh Allen was the last quarterback the Saints played. He had 45 rushing yards. The other running quarterback that they played against was Kyler Murray. He had 38 rushing yards, both going over their rushing yards line. Mac Jones and Sam Darnold were the other two, and they just don't move at all. So there's no point in even mentioning them. Josh Allen and Kyler Murray, though, very capable of getting over their lines. I think Jackson Dart can do the same thing, maybe even flirt with 50 once again on the ground.
Okay, well, from Giants Saints to another goofy game involving a team from the Meadowlands, this time at the Meadowlands, and that is the Jets, who are 0-4, 0-2 at home, playing host to the Cowboys, 1-2-1. They had that tie last time out again. Packers screwing up a bunch of survivor pools, including one of mine. Dallas is 1.5 to 2.5 point favorite, was 2.5 at open as well, so in some places hasn't moved. Total has actually gone up from 44.5 to 47.5 to 48.5. As we know, Dallas nearly did upset Green Bay at home last week without multiple offensive linemen and, of course, without CeeDee Lamb, leading to the league's first tie of the year. And Scorigami, 40-40 in that contest. Sauce Gardner should limit George Pickens some, putting more pressure on Dak Prescott. Jake Ferguson could benefit from that. Javonte Williams is facing a horrid run defense, so maybe we should just be investing in overs on Javonte Williams' rush yards as a show official play. I don't have it right now, but worth thinking about. The Cowboys' defense is terrible. ranks among the NFL's worst. I will remind people at every opportunity that Russell Wilson passed for 450 yards against this defense right before getting benched. Justin Fields should show off his mobility. He did it against the Dolphins. He will be able to do it again here. He will lean on Garrett Wilson, who is one of the elite wide receivers in the NFL, even though the stats do not always show it. And Breece Hall might be more effective in the passing game than the rushing game in this particular matchup, but I still expect him to be effective. Teams are 14-20 against the spread following ties. Normally, I would tell you about that related to the Packers, but they are one of 4 teams that has a bye this week, so we won't talk about Green Bay. Both these teams 2-2 against the spread. Dallas 2-2 over/under. New York 3-1 to the over. Like to mix those in every once in a while. This is another one where I like the dog, man. I don't think highly of Dallas. I think the Jets at home are going to win this game. Give me the plus money on the money line. It's not show official, but it's what I believe.
I like it. I think that is definitely the situation that I would lean into if I was going to take a side in this game. I like the Cowboys. I like what Dak Prescott is doing. So I think that this game could be a little more fun than people might think. 2 bad defenses, like you mentioned. So I think there's going to be a lot of props that are worth looking into. George Pickens obviously coming off that incredible game last week against the Packers. Maybe he goes out and does the same thing again. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be scrambling to take his props. But I'm going to go with the guy. I do have a show official play in this game. It is on the Jets side, and you did mention his name. And I know that we've talked about Breece Hall before, and I told you guys to take rushing and receiving so you don't get burned. But I'm taking the receiving yards. Over 24.5 was the line I got for Breece Hall in this situation. The line was too good for me to pass up. The last 4 running backs that have played against the Dallas Cowboys, Josh Jacobs had 71 receiving yards. DeAndre Swift, 45. Tyrone Tracy, 36. And Saquon Barkley, 24. All 4 of those guys went over their lines for the receiving yards. 32nd in the NFL right now to receiving yards allowed, and 30th to receiving yards allowed to running backs. I think that Breece is going to get loose again. I don't hate the rushing and receiving. They are not a very good stout rushing defense as well. And we did see Breece run really well last week. Also, they lost Braylon Allen with that knee injury, so there's no real substantial backup that's going to get. So Breece Hall is probably going to get even more carries in this situation. But I could see him catching a couple swing passes and maybe taking one to the house against this really bad tackling defense. So give me Breece Hall over 24.5 receiving yards, and I kind of lean with you. I think the Jets can keep this one frisky.
Maybe I'll do a Giants-Jets teaser. I'll think about that. We move, though. Broncos at the Eagles, 2-2 versus 4-0. And Philadelphia is 2-0 at home. Denver 0-2 on the road. The line is Philadelphia minus 3.5 to 4.5. The total 43.5, down from 45.5. That is a universal total. The Broncos, they scored at will against the Bengals last week because who doesn't? But the Eagles, much tougher defensive challenge. Bo Nix should be able to exploit some deficiencies in the secondary. We'll see. J.K. Dobbins, though, is going against a top 10 run defense. Not great for him. Jalen Hurts, we have to see about Lane Johnson. That's a big handicap in this game if he is out, and we do not know right now. He's facing a number 1 pass rush, 104 pressures so far this year from the Broncos. That's going to keep Hurts running under siege. The blockers not great in front of him. Again, if there's no Lane Johnson, if there is, I would feel better about taking Philadelphia to cover in this one. A.J. Brown, I'm curious how he's going to be defended. Is he going to be smothered by Patrick Surtain II, or are they going to blanket the coverage a little bit differently? Saquon Barkley, probably limited as a rusher, but could have opportunities as a pass catcher, just as we were talking about Breece Hall the same way. I like Philly in this game to win. I would include them in money line parlays. The minus 3.5 to 4.5, I don't really want a piece of that because I think the Broncos hang around.
Yeah, this game's hard. 2 good teams. This is the first real massive test, I think, that we're about to see for the Denver Broncos in this situation. They played the Colts, obviously, earlier in the season. But I think this is the litmus test for how good this team's going to be this season. If they come into Philadelphia and they keep this within the number or maybe even win outright, then we got to have a separate conversation about what the Broncos season might look like going forward. But both of these defenses very good. Hard to kind of look at some props that I feel really good about. I don't like that it's over the 3.5 line either. It's set there accordingly. I could see this game being a field goal game one way or the other. I'd probably take the Broncos in the points if I really had to, but I don't like the spread in this game whatsoever. I did flirt with taking an official play in this one. Now, off the top of your head, Adam, from a Broncos perspective, who would you say is the most targeted wide receiver on this team?
I mean, I would like to say it's Cortland Sutton, but this feels like a trick question. So is it Franklin?
Cortland Sutton has 27 targets. He is tied with Troy Franklin for 27 targets. And I think that there's value on Troy Franklin's 36.5 receiving yards line. He's hit that in three of the four games to start the season for the Broncos, pretty much soaring over that line too, with a very hefty target share, as I mentioned. I'm assuming that the Eagles defense is going to be focusing on stopping Cortland Sutton because of the fact that he's Cortland Sutton. And I think that he's one of the underrated star wide receivers in the NFL. But you're getting Troy Franklin at 36.5 receiving yards. So not official, probably going to get to the window on this maybe later today or by the start of tomorrow. And I think that this is a good situation for him to take advantage of this Eagles secondary. Not a great secondary. They've been okay, but they've gotten kind of banged up this season. And again, they're probably going to be focusing a lot of resources on stopping Cortland Sutton. So no official plays for me in this one. Troy Franklin would be the way that I'd take it on the receiving side. And I kind of lean with you. Maybe the Broncos stick around and possibly win outright.
By the time Betspresso rolls around in a half hour, this guy's going to be getting to the window on Mr. Don't Call Him Clifford Franklin.
All sauce team, but yes, you're correct. We usually are followed by Betspresso, so but that's
true.
No,
usually, all right.
Yeah,
all sauce team.
I had it on my list, man. I was close. I think it's just the line's so low,
Yeah,
55 yards last week against Cincinnati. So I could see him getting a couple big ones, but we'll see. Yeah, like you said, I'll probably have the button pressed by the end of the show.
All right, let's go Dolphins, Panthers. God, there's a lot of shit games so far this weekend, aren't there?
Really,
Dolphins 1-3, so are the Panthers. Miami is believe it or not, Miami's a favorite, folks. 1.5 points. Was 1.5 at open as well, so it hasn't moved all that much. The total 44 to 44.5. That's down from 46.5. The Dolphins coming off that win over the Jets in prime time do not have Tyreek Hill. He's out for the season. Multiple torn ligaments in the leg. That vaults Jalen Waddle into a number one role. We saw Darren Waller in his first game out of retirement score multiple touchdowns. Could that be happening again? Is it fluky? We'll find out. I mean, look at what Jonnu Smith did in that offense, obviously. So it's not like Tua doesn't like to lean on a tight end when available to him. And he's going to have very little resistance, plenty of time to work with that defense on the other side. Dolphins should be able to move the ball at ease. Hell, the Patriots, my Patriots, just destroyed Carolina. Have some pride, would you guys? Devon Achane, favorable matchup for him across the board. That's one of those rushing plus receiving combo kind of games for Achane. The Panthers, Bryce Young might find some success passing the ball against a vulnerable secondary on the other side. Tet McMillan is electric. He's a lot of fun to watch. Fantasy stud, all that stuff. Dolphins, they're bad against the run. Thing is, Chuba Hubbard is not available for this game. He's been ruled out with the calf injury. Rico Dowdle, more than serviceable, though. He was the number one for Dallas last year. Certainly capable of coming in, getting 100 yards in this game. That's one of those kind of replaceable off-the-street type positions, as we talk about all the time in the NFL. Both these teams 2-2 against the spread. Miami's 3-1 to the over. Carolina 2-2 to the total. This is another game. Talked about it with the Jets, the Panthers. I'll give you a third. I think the dog is the outright winner here. And the only reason that I am forcing myself, because this is not a show official play, SPJ, the only reason I am forcing myself to believe in Carolina in this one is, one, I don't believe in Miami. And two, I guess I'll give you two reasons. I can't help but think a couple weeks back to where the Atlanta Falcons, as roughly 5-point favorites, decimated so many of my parlays by not only not winning, not covering an losing spread. Like I had them at like 10.5, 17.5. Like I had these wacky parlays where I just needed the Falcons. I didn't even need them to win necessarily. Just don't get embarrassed. You know what happened? They got embarrassed. Carolina in its home opener won 30-0. So I am choosing to believe in the Panthers at home against a terrible team to win this game.
I don't have a whole bunch to say on this. We did have a sub bang, so shout out to our man Penny Pincher in the chat. Appreciate you for stopping by and hanging out, man. I know you got to get to work soon. Appreciate the sub. Chat, feel free to always drop a sub. The content will always be free, but we really appreciate you guys, and it helps us continue to run fantastic content for you guys. Appreciate you guys.
Love that.
Boom. Short and sweet. You kind of touched Yeah, sub-bang, baby. You kind of tossed me a little bit of a softball. I like Rico Dowdle in this game. I like his rushing yards. I got a pretty good number on this. And as always, chat with these props, shop around. Find the best number that you can. I got Rico Dowdle over 58.5 rushing yards. I think that, like you mentioned, he could flirt with 100. This is one of the worst rushing defenses in the NFL. We just saw Breece Hall, who has not been running the football incredibly well to start the season, have 80-plus against this team. Numerous running backs this season have had really good games against the Dolphins. And the Carolina Panthers don't really have a lot of other running backs on the roster right now. It's kind of just Rico Dowdle and a bunch of other dudes that you don't really want to put any coin on because Chuba Hubbard's out, and obviously Brooks from last season is still not recovered from that knee injury. So I like Dowdle here. I think the 58.5 is a little bit too low, and I think, like you mentioned, there's some value for some laddering if you think that the Panthers are going to be frisky, those frisky cats. So yeah, give me Dowdle over 58.5.
This game. We go Texans, Ravens, couple of 1-3 teams that were favorites to win their divisions coming into the year. I think Baltimore is still a favorite to win its terrible AFC North division. But
Probably
1-3, there is no Lamar Jackson officially, along with a slew of defensive players unavailable in this one for the Ravens, who are dogs at home. 1.5 to 2 point dogs. The Texans favored. This was a 7.5 point line with Baltimore favored at open. Total has really plummeted. 40.5 to 41, down from 47.5. The Texans, they shut out your Titans for their first win last week. The Ravens defense has so many problems with all those injuries. Van Noy and Smith and Humphrey and Wiggins, among others. They don't generate a whole lot of pressure. Poor offensive line in front of C.J. Stroud. It just may not matter, obviously. We'll see about Woody Marks in this game. Seems serviceable out of the backfield because Nick Chubb is just, dude's washed, unfortunately. Injuries have heavily contributed to that. As for the Ravens, with no Lamar, that means Cooper Rush. That's what you're looking at after that injury suffered against the Chiefs last week. He's not going to be able to move the way Jackson can. You would like to think that Derrick Henry is going to get more of an opportunity in this game. Rush did face the Texans last year, fumbled twice, was also picked off. Texans are great against the pass, mediocre against the run, which is why, again, we should see Henry bounce back from some really continuous early season struggles, with the exception of week 1. He's been pretty terrible since. Houston 4-0 to the under this year. Baltimore's 4-0 to the over. So it's one of those something's got to give games in that category. John Harbaugh, if you care, following a double-digit loss in his career, is 15-7 against the spread. I like the Texans in this game. And as someone who has the Ravens to win 10 games, to win the division in multiple preseason parlays with win totals and that sort of thing, 1-4 has me a-scared at this point. But, what can I tell you, man? This is a week-to-week sport. And this week, I like Houston here.
Well, this is not show official for me, but I kind of lean the other direction. I'm really tempted to take the Ravens in the points in this game. But the official play that I do have, and there's not really a massive cap to this, I just think that Derrick Henry is going to have to be Derrick Henry in this game. If you're a Baltimore Ravens, the lines also are kind of telling me that, Adam. He's not even sniffed the 85.5 rushing yards line in the last 3 weeks, 42, 50, and 23. He's also had a season really bad, 18 carries to start in Buffalo, which is kind of normal for him, 11, 12, and 8 in the last 3 games. He just has not been utilized, and that's because some situations the Ravens have just been behind, and they haven't been able to truly run the football. I really don't think you want to get into a situation where Cooper Rush is going to have to go toe-to-toe with C.J. Stroud in this game. Derrick Henry's rushing attempts line is 19.5, set accordingly. I think he's going to get plenty of opportunities. Last point on this, too, to not belabor the point that Derrick Henry should have a good game. He's played against them a lot as a member of the Tennessee Titans, and he always has good games against the Houston Texans. So I just think that it's one of those situations where you got to lean on the king here. You don't have a lot of other offensive firepower, and you don't want Cooper Rush to have to throw the ball 35 times to win you this football game. Just let Henry get going early. And again, I'm not going to bet it. I was kind of leaning that way. I think the Ravens could maybe win this game outright at home, but it's kind of a fishy line. And like you said, maybe the Houston Texans kind of shook off the cobwebs last week and got right against the Titans. And finally, they're going to put some stuff together against this just looks like a broken Ravens team right now. So the only thing I feel good about is Henry to have a good game.
Well, maybe it is a sign, because this show is called Any Given Wager. Mm-hmm. My son, my oldest, does not watch this show.
He should.
Maybe he should. He doesn't watch the show, however, but he is a huge football fan and has multiple season-long leagues with friends and all of that. He is in deep, like we all are, my friend. And he had Sam Laporta on his fantasy team when they were known as the Laporta Potties. He has since traded him away. You got to change the team name, and he's got Derrick Henry on his team. And he independently has decided to change his team name to Henry Given Sunday.
Let's go.
So maybe between Any Given Wager, Henry Given Sunday, and of course, Derrick Henry with your investment, it's all the stars aligning, my friend. It's a good sign for the show.
I have him on one fantasy. I usually have him on a fantasy team just because, again, I love Derrick Henry. And he's usually treated me well in my fantasy teams. The one team I have him on, that team is called The King and I. So that's the name of that team. So yeah,
like that,
same vibes. Also, but shout out your son. Good. You should tell him to watch our show. You'd have some fun.
Should. We're gonna have to watch our language if I do that. Let's go Raiders and Colts. All right. Well, I keep saying I don't have an official play on this one. I don't have an official play on this one. I got an official play on this one. That is the Colts to cover 6.5. Cover the 6.5. It's 6.5 to 7 in some places. Indianapolis at home, favored in this game, 2-0 so far at home this year. The Raiders 1-1 on the road. The total 47.5 to 48, up from 44.5. Geno Smith taking on an aggressive defensive line that has 80 pressures. There are holes in that secondary, though, so it's not like I expect the Raiders to get shut out. And Ashton Genty coming off a career game as predicted here on this show. By the way, he is now facing a third-ranked rushing defense, so I think it is going to be not as good for Genty this week. I would not play his overs. I would actually consider his unders. But the Raiders defense is awful. It's dreadful. Max Crosby is going to put some pressure on Daniel Jones, but outside of that, he's well protected. He's mobile enough. Jonathan Taylor is going against a mediocre run defense. Michael Pittman Jr., who is going to play, facing an awful secondary. Some numbers for you. Daniel Jones, can you believe, and I know he was a New York Giant forever, Daniel Jones has never in his career been a favorite of at least 7 points.
That's crazy.
Never once. He is 7-9 ATS as a favorite in general in his career. Pete Carroll, 21-12 ATS after losing as a favorite. That, goes back obviously throughout his coaching career, clearly not just the Raiders. Carroll is 17-11 ATS in 1 p.m. East Coast kickoffs. Again, I would attribute a lot of that success to his time with Seattle, not what we have seen so far with the Raiders. I like Indy to cover the big number in this one and win this thing going away.
Yeah, I lean this way too. I think that the Colts is probably the A side here, especially at home. I could see them winning by 10 plus, maybe even 2 touchdowns. Don't want to lay it necessarily, but I think that you're on the right side here, and from what I would see in this game too. Also, Brock Bowers not seen a practice once again today with that knee problem, so they might not have Bowers once again too, which, as you know, even though he hasn't been as incredible as he was last year, still one of the best tight ends and most dynamic tight ends in football. So worth monitoring there as you get closer and closer to the weekend. Maybe the 6.5 is already baked in by the fact that maybe they're expecting Bowers to not play in this game. But I do have an official play. It's on the Colts side of things. I was looking at Jonathan Taylor and looking at what he could possibly do against this bad defense, like you kind of mentioned. But I ended up going with the other tight end, Tyler Warren, over 57.5 receiving yards. 70 plus in 3 of his last 4 games, Adam, when he's gone over this line. This is just not an overthink it spot for me. I think this line's still a little bit too low. He's the most targeted pass catcher right behind Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman is also going to play in this game, but he's also dealing with a little bit of some issues on the injury side of things. I just think that we continue to see Warren get peppered with targets. The tight end position against the Raiders is not spectacular, but they allowed the 22nd most passing yards in the NFL. Good games from previous tight ends too. Cole Kmet got over his yards, Zach Ertz as well, and then Hunter Henry from your guys also had 66 yards. A really good game against this Raiders defense. So Tyler Warren, if you don't know the name, you're going to know the name. He's one of the best tight ends, even though he's a rookie this season from a production perspective, and I think that he could get 70 plus once again. So I really like Warren in this spot, and I kind of lean with you. I think the Colts get the job done.
Roughly 1,000 people watching with us across Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. We appreciate you. Hang out some more. Get some more people. Tell your friends. Tell your parents. Tell your cousins.
Before we move to the next game, too, I will say, chat, we are doing a giveaway today of our first Any Given Wager lid, which we have available in our store. One of these bad boys is going to go to one of you guys in the chat. All you got to do is come hang out with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/betting news. It's free to watch, and you will be entered at the end of the show to win one of these bad boys. We're just trying to give you guys
How do
the
you
winners
not?
And the hats. Winners
Fire hat. My goodness. Again, giveaway. All right. Buccaneers, Seahawks, my friend. The Bucks 3-1, 2-0 on the road. Seahawks 3-1. So it's a matchup of 2 3-1 teams, if that's not enough numbers for you. Seattle's 3.5 to 4.5 point favorite, was 1.5 the dog at open. Things have changed for Tampa with no Mike Evans. Chris Godwin is a shell of himself, at least right now, very early in his return. Bucky Irving has been ruled out for this game. There's just only so much that Baker Mayfield has to work with, all due respect to Emeka Egbuka, who has been awesome here to start his rookie year. 44.5 the total, down from 47.5. The Seahawks, stout run defense. So, again, absent Irving, we'll see what Bucks are able to do there with no Evans. Mayfield seemingly going to lean on Egbuka, possibly Godwin, but it's an elite pass rush, banged up offensive line. There are a lot of things working against Tampa here. The Seahawks, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, it's, good run defense on the other side. Really, really good, actually. So I don't think that favors them all that much. This Buccaneers defense, run defense, has not allowed 50-plus rushing yards to a single back since last December. We've talked about that the last couple of weeks, but as the trend continues, we're going to keep mentioning it. And they've already, again, it's Walker and Charbonnet, but they've already suffocated the likes of Bijan, McCaffrey, Barkley, like some pretty impressive names that they have silenced, limited so far this year. Sam Darnold's going to be under a lot of pressure here in this one as well. I don't love this game at all. I feel like I'm seeing value with the points in the Buccaneers, and I even think that Tampa, despite all of its injuries, has a chance to win this game. If it's close late and you're going to give me a 2-minute drill with Baker, I absolutely believe in him. We've already seen him come back and win multiple games this year that way. I just don't see Seattle winning this game going away. If you'd like to play it more conservatively, take Tampa with the points outside the field goal, even 4.5. Great. But I do think Tampa's live on the money line as well.
I agree with you. I got burned by them last week against the Eagles, even though they almost came back and did some magic at the end of that game. But they're just so banged up. It's really tough. Danny actually wrote about this game, so this is a show official play for him. You can go read his analysis at Betting News, even though he's not with us today to sell it for you guys live. He's on the other side. He's on the Hawks, -3. He cut the hook, so he got the -3, so he can split depending upon if it does land on that field goal number. You can go read his analysis, like I said, in his article on why he likes the Seahawks. I looked at JSN as per usual. He's in a good, I know, so unlike me, right? No, I don't hate the number. I think it's 76.5 as his receiving yards line. He did burn me last week, even though he tried his damnedest at the end to get over his receiving yards line. He's still Sam Darnold's most targeted wide receiver, and I think that's a decent matchup, even though the Bucs have been better in the passing department. I think that JSN could definitely get loose for 100 again. But then I found something that I really like a lot. Now, this is a little bit of a butt clincher, Adam, but I really like Sam Darnold, and I like his rushing yards over 5.5. It's very low, but it's low for a reason. He doesn't normally scramble very much. He's good for probably 1 to 2 runs. He had one singular run last week against the Arizona Cardinals, but hey, it went for 24 yards, so that's all that matters. But this is about the matchup. Like you mentioned, really good running defense against the running back. However, all 4 quarterbacks that they've played this season, as in the Buccaneers, have all gone over their rushing yards line, and not only gone over, soared. Michael Penix, 4.5 line, 21 rushing yards. CJ Stroud, 11.5 line, 27 rushing yards. Tyrod Taylor, when he filled in for Justin Fields, 48 rushing yards on a 20.5 line. And then Jalen Hurts last week, obviously a running quarterback, 39.5 was his line, had 62 on the ground. It's just an area that the Buccaneers do not defend very well for some reason. And even though Sam Darnold's not really a mover, he can get out there and use his athleticism. And I think that there's a good opportunity for him to hit this in one rush. Maybe he gets 10 or 15. We'll see. But I really like his rushing yards. And again, I don't hate JSN. I probably will have it in some parlays, but I'm going with Sam Darnold as my show official play.
Love that. All right, let's move to Titans Cardinals. Here's a show play, a double show play, one for me and a taste from Danny as well. Arizona, 7.5 to 8.5 point favorites. I am investing in the Cardinals, that -7.5. Cardinals 2-2 against, sorry, I know, you're a fan. We see the hat. Titans are 0-4, 0-2 on the road. Total has dropped considerably, 41 to 42 down from 46.5. Cam Young has said everyone is ass. Everyone, every member of this organization, total, complete butt cheeks. Nevertheless, it's hard to bet on this guy. It really is. The offense has been limited so far to the following totals: 12, 19, 20, 0 last week against the Texans, who had been winless. And as we know, Brian Callahan and the gentleman who has followed him, just some terrible play calling so far, and that is against the Broncos, the Colts, the Rams, the Texans, who, in fairness, all top 15 defenses this year. Arizona, thing is, also has a comparable defense and will pressure and make life challenging for the Titans here in this game, you would think. Kyler Murray, he's well protected. It's not a lot of pressure on the other side from the Titans anyway. Marvin Harrison Jr., if they can get on the same page, which really ebbs and flows, doesn't it? You know, it's a Jekyll and Hyde relationship that he and Kyler Murray have. You know, it's complicated. Might be the Facebook status here, but awful secondary. So, you know, MHJ, if people want to call him that, could light things up here. Trey Benson placed on IR, if anybody missed that, with a knee injury. James Conner already sidelined. So everyone, if you haven't, rush out, pick up what's his name?
Demario. I forgot the third. Demario.
Yeah, he's got a name that I just.
Oh, DeMercado.
DeMercado. Thank you. Yes, yeah. DeMercado. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pick out Amari DeMercado. And he will handle things for you in all likelihood. Titans also, this is just salt in the wound for SPJ. Titans are 4-20-1 against the spread in their last 25 games. So that honestly, that has me that much more comfortable to take Arizona covering the multiple score game here in this one. Yep. So that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I lean that way too. I'm not going to actively fade my team with money just because I don't want them to randomly go and cover or win, and then I'll be doubly sad. But I lean that direction as well. I told you last week I like the Texans to cover, and I think that was easy money. Titans didn't even score a singular point in that game. It is. You said Cam Young. It's Cam Ward, but I think you just were talking.
Did I say Cam Young? Yeah, Cam Ward.
It's okay.
Don't listen. Interrupt me. Correct me. Don't never hesitate.
I let you get through it. Chat heard you, and I heard you, but it's all good.
Did he say Cam Young?
I said that Cam Young because you were focused on the ass cheeks comment, which is totally fair. So yeah, it's tough to back this team right now until proven otherwise. I'm not going to wager anything on the Titans. I don't even like any Titans props in this game. Calvin Ridley is in a decent matchup with the passing defense of the Arizona Cardinals, but again, I can't trust anything that this passing offense is doing right now. I think Brian Callahan is a sitting duck at the moment. I don't know when they're going to fire him. Maybe they wait until they get back home against your Patriots in a couple weeks. And if Mike Vrabel comes in there and gives them a good old BTA, then I think that he might be out after that game. But we'll see. I think they get through the rest of this road trip and then kind of see what happens just from a scheduling perspective. But I do like what you were having to say, and I did play this officially in this game. I like Marvin Harrison Jr. in this one. I've seen L'Jarius Sneed get torched multiple weeks in a row. And I think that this is another situation where we're going to see just that once again. So I like the 51.5. Yes, it's kind of frustrating sometimes because he and Kyler just sometimes are speaking two different languages, but seems like they're finally starting to put it together. He had that big touchdown catch last week, some big catches in the end of that game against the Seahawks, which almost ended up winning him that one. So maybe he's kind of coming into form here. And this is a great, great matchup for elite level wide receivers to take advantage of this secondary. So I think MHJ can have a big one today or a big one on Sunday. And I don't hate the ladder, and I like his touchdown too. I think he can score.
All right. Commanders, Chargers. Chargers, can they bounce back from the embarrassing defeat in the Meadowlands to the Giants without Malik Neighbors? How gross was that? 3-1, 2-0 at home against the Commanders, 2-2 on the other side. There is no Terry McLaurin. Jaden Daniels is returning, though, so there is no Marcus Mariota, which is probably a good thing, obviously, for Washington, trying to rebound from last week's loss to the Falcons. Chargers, strong defense, again, looking to rebound. Joe Alt will not be there, carted off the field with the ankle injury last week, out multiple weeks. You know, Rashawn Slater already out. We know that. So Justin Herbert does not have his usual protection, the multiple turnovers last week against the Giants. Amari Hampton, his career game last week, unlike Ashton Genty, has a favorable matchup here. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, they gashed the Commanders last week. So I like the Chargers. I think we all like the Chargers. Danny likes the Chargers. You like the Chargers. Group play, baby.
Yeah, I just think this is a bounce back spot for a team that we all believe in as being one of the better teams in the AFC. And I think that this Commanders team is still limping into these games. No Terry McLaurin, like you mentioned too. Yeah, Jaden Daniels is back, but he's still probably dealing with whatever that knee sprain is kind of hampered him. And he's a guy that needs that elusiveness to be able to be effective. And this Chargers defense is no joke. So I like the Chargers here. The official play that I had on the prop side, we're going to run out of time, so I'm going to make this one fast. Quentin Johnston, over 59.5 receiving yards, the number one targeted wide receiver on this team, and he continues to produce. He obviously has put together whatever gloves he needed to wear so he catches the football now. This line's just too low. He's cooked it every single week, Adam. I think he has another really good opportunity against the bottom 5 secondary in Washington. I could see him maybe even flirting with 100 yards once again. And I like his touchdown too. I don't hate the Keenan Allen play as well. He burned me last week. His catches was always the move. I think that Justin Herbert should be able to sling the ball around against this pretty bad Commander secondary. So give me Johnston over 59.5 receiving yards, and we're all on the Chargers. What could go wrong?
All right, let's go Lions Bengals. All right, we got a couple more to go through here in just a few minutes. Lions Bengals. Lions heavy favorite, 9.5 to 10.5 against a Cincinnati team that has a putrid, one of the NFL's worst defenses, save for Trey Hendrickson. But Jared Goff, he's well protected. He'll have time to work. This is a dream matchup for Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. We should play probably anytime touchdowns on both and over on rushing yards or rushing receiving combo for Gibbs. We'll see. Jake Browning, he's going to be forced into mistakes. Aiden Hutchinson is going to be eating him for lunch. The Bengals are not going to be able to lean on the run or anything like that. Excellent run defense. That's bad for Chase Brown. It's just bad for Cincinnati in this game. Honestly, the Lions to cover should probably be a show play. It's not, but I am going to use them in another way that I'll tell you about in a little bit.
Yeah, this game just feels like, again, watching that Bengals game on Monday Night Football, this team just is so bad. And the Lions have finally come into form, and this could be a situation where it is totally a belt to ass. But we saw that last night. We thought the same thing, and obviously the 49ers had other ideas. So I don't like this game, really. I did look at some Amon-Ra props. The Bengals secondary is really, really bad, and Amon-Ra has been fantastic over the last couple of weeks. His receiving yards line was something that I was kind of flirting around with, but no official plays for me in this game. Probably not going to get to the window on anything unless I really feel strongly about Amon-Ra tomorrow. But yeah, nothing from me. This Bengals team sucks.
We go to Sunday Night Football then, and that is Patriots at the Bills. Buffalo, 7.5 to 8.5 point favorite. After the game, I might want to throw myself through a table. The total, 48.5 to 49.5, up from 46.5. As we know, Patriots have a balanced rushing attack. Travion Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson, even Drake May. And the Bills are vulnerable against the run. That is the Pats' best hope of keeping this game close. Never mind opportunities in the passing game after a solid performance that we saw from Tua last week. Even Spencer Rattler put up some numbers against Buffalo, but did the Bills care? That's really the question. They have 30-plus points in every single game. I don't know if the Patriots, despite what they did to Carolina, are up to win a shootout quite yet in this stage of their rebuild. James Cook should be productive. The Patriots are not stout against the run. Pats are pretty good against the pass, especially with the return of Christian Gonzalez, but I don't know how they're going to use him, given that there is no clear-cut number one for Buffalo on this offense. Bills have won 6 straight at home against the Pats. They should take care of business here.
Yeah, I knew you'd have more to say on this game since it's your team. I haven't really capped Sunday Night Football quite yet. I've leaned pretty heavily with your boys to cover, but I haven't quite gotten there yet. I think Drake May could maybe be frisky in this situation. It's going to be really fun to watch this game. The Bills are in those white, awesome jerseys. It's going to be a whiteout in Buffalo. Yeah. You're going to get to see what this Patriots team is made of. This is their first formidable opponent. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago that if they come into this game and stick around, look very competitive, maybe even fuck around and win this game outright, then you got to have a completely different conversation about the trajectory of the New England Patriots this season. So this is a kind of look and see. Maybe have some props by the weekend, but nothing official for me on this one. I'm just going to kind of see if your boys can stick around in this one.
We have one group play. That is the Chargers -2.5. Danny, Vikings -3.5. A Seahawks -3. He also has a teaser. Jets +8.5 with the Cardinals -1.5. He got that, pardon me, at -125. I have 3 plays for you. Colts -6.5, Cardinals -7.5, and a 3-leg money line parlay, which is right around +125, depending on where you shop. And that is the Lions, the Bills, and the Chiefs, who, of course, play on Monday night. We'll talk about that game during Monday's show. You have a menu of plays, if you'd like to recite them quickly.
Yeah, I'll go fast. Jackson Dart over 36.5 rushing yards. Breece Hall receiving yards over 24.5. Rico Dowdle over 58.5 rushing yards. The King, Mr. Henry, over 85.5 rushing yards. Tyler Warren, 57.5 receiving. Sam Darnold, just a scamper once for 5.5 rushes. And then Marvin Harrison Jr. to torch the Titans from the receiving department over 51.5. And last, Quentin Johnston over 59.5 receiving yards as well. The laundry list is complete. We've come to the end.
Very good. We've come
for a
to
giveaway,
the end.
Adam. This is the first time you're going to get to watch the giveaway live on the show. Oh, no, you watched it when we did our draft party, which is going to be fun. The Twitch is not giving us the full list of people, unfortunately, but whoever is in the chat, it's fine. So just drop a dub in our Twitch chat. It's your last chance to come join us on Twitch. We're about to do another hour live with you guys for the All Sauce team, so you're going to be able to enjoy the show as you get you ready to rock and roll into your Friday. We're going to give away one of these bad boys, our hat right here, the Any Given Wager hat. Giving it to you guys in the chat. All you got to do is be in our Twitch chat. Sook, you got it pulled. You got it ready to roll. It's probably broken, but that's okay. Whoever's in there is in there, and that's what matters. So you get to watch the Duckies, which is the fun part. Are we ready to rumble in the jungle? All right, we're ready. Let's go. Oh, yeah, we got Duckies. Let's go.
Look at this.
Duckies.
Look at this.
Oh, yeah, it's a good time. All right,
Oh,
3,
nice.
2, 1. Bang, 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 bang. Get after it.
Wow. Look at Red running away.
Oh, they're losing. They ain't winning.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, we're getting movement. Getting some movement.
Uh-oh.
Movement.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, keep
Heavy
going.
favor dropped off.
Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Oh, Jay Dizzle, wow.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, Dizzle!
Oh, my God. Let's go. Congratulations, Jay
Nice.
Dizzle. Appreciate you, big dog. You were here
Sorry.
since the beginning, too.
Yeah, you were right there.
Let's go.
Hey, Dizzle with a fucking win. Way to go. You know,
win,
look, sometimes you just need a Gatorade and you get right back to it.
Get right back in there. He's run some dirt on it. Get back in there, big dog. Congratulations, Jay Dizzle. Shoot us a DM on Twitter at Your Betting News. You will be the big winner of the Any Given Wager lid on the screen. Let's go.
Sook has been accused of removing ducks.
He did.
There's
Duck was removed.
Oh, Mac Jones style. Not bad. Not bad, guys. All right. Well, we've gone over, but we covered a lot of plays. Let's make it 4 straight days of profit with a lot of action coming up. And so I can't believe it's just college football tonight. And a pretty big WNBA game that this guy right here can't wait. Check out his parlays on the social media account. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to Danny for just being here in spirit. He'll be back with us, I believe, on Monday. And of course, the All Sauce team is on the way. Vsauce hasn't been hanging out in the chat, so can't wait to hear what that dude has to say. All right, fellas. Always fun. Any Given Wager. We'll see you next time.
Appreciate you guys. Stick around for another hour. Let's get it.
Stay the night light here with me. Lay me down on the floor. You were silent. Lock the door. I can't believe somehow I went my whole life without your name on my lips, without my heart on the line. How had a minute I could spend every night without any other place until I die. I think I'm addicted to your hands on my hips. I think it's the first time that I know what I need. And I want you so bad that I'm scared that I don't know how good it is if you ever leave.
Hour number 2 right here on the Betting News Network. Welcome to the All Sauce team. We're addicted to you guys out there. We appreciate you guys for stopping by and hanging out with us. You guys are addicted to us because you're still here for another hour. We love to see it. That's V-Sauce. That's Just Sook. My name's Sweatpan Jesus. Stoked to have you guys chilling for another hour, spending your Friday with us. Adam and I just talked through so much NFL, boys. It's just flying at you, all that NFL. We're going to talk through a little bit of NFL with you guys in a little bit. But as Adam said, boys, we got WNBA finals tonight, game 1. We're going to talk about the NBA, which is right around the corner, give you guys a little West preview. And then we're going to have some fun and do a little SGP at the end of the show as well. Boys, happy Friday. How we doing?
Happy Friday, boys. And as always, it's happy hour, right? It's that time of day. Ooh. So cheers. Chin
chin. Happy hour. Happy Friday. Vibes are high. Excited to have you guys with us right here on the network. Adam's in the chat. Adam is in the shadows still down below because he can't get away from the vibes because he's just bobbing and weaving. Bobbing and weaving. Excited to have you with us. If you're watching us on YouTube, on Twitch, or on X, wherever you guys are consuming this content, we appreciate you for sticking around and hanging out for another hour. Go check out our sponsors at Bet Online. You can get involved with everything we're going to bet in the WNBA game 1 of the finals, a little bit of some NFL action, some NBA futures. We're going to talk about all of it. Go check them out with the promo code BNBOL55 with that QR code on the side of the screen. Love to see it, boys. Zook, how are you? You didn't say anything. All good? Vibes are high?
Oh, vibes are so high. I loved hearing your guys' thoughts on this Seahawks and Bucks game. I kind of see it the same way that Adam does. I am a little bit wary of this game. Injuries on both sides. I do have 2 plays already locked in for that game, but we'll get there later on.
Love to see it. We're gonna do what we've done before previously. We're all gonna pick one game we like to talk about because obviously on Sunday we're gonna be going through every single game with you guys on Gridiron Gang. You guys just listened to Adam and I talk about all of our plays that we have within all of the slate. So we're gonna kind of dive into 3 games that we kind of like a lot for particular reasons, and we'll talk about that. Ooh, Cooper Kupp to the moon. All right. So we'll talk about that near the end of the show. But let's start off with the Hoopers that are playing tonight. We do have a massive WNBA game. It is the beginning of the WNBA finals tonight as the Las Vegas Aces are hosting the Phoenix Mercury. I'm super excited for this game, boys. It's going to be awesome. If you guys aren't going to watch some college football tonight, if you're looking for some sports you want to take a gander at this evening, if you've never watched any WNBA all season long, tonight's the night. 2 of the best teams in the league going head-to-head. 2 MVP candidates and the 4-time MVP, Asia Wilson, taking on the MVP candidate, Alyssa Thomas, looking for her first championship in her illustrious career, which is going to be awesome to see. 3.5-point favorites right now are the Aces at home. This game is in Las Vegas to start us off. This is a best-of-7 series. Everything leading up to this game in the WNBA playoffs has been either best-of-3 or best-of-5. This one is best-of-7, as it should be. So really excited for this game. Before I kind of talk about some plays, do you guys have any thoughts on this one? I know Eddie wrote about it at Betting News. You guys go peep his scribbles on what he had to say about it. As sort of semi-casuals slash likers
absolute
of the
casuals.
WNBA.
You can say it. Absolute casuals.
That was a nice way to say
I was
that.
on the W show and was unceremoniously left that show because
voted off the island.
It's so
he voted himself off the island.
I voted myself off. It's incredibly hard to cap this sport, and it might have to do with Fee said with the officiating. Every game feels different. The flow kind of gets messed up. But let's not focus on the negative. Let's focus on how cool these finals are going to be. When I was on the W, I remember me and SPJ, we talked about this with our boy NZ. Can the Aces just absolutely flip the switch? We've seen them win so much before. What if midway through the season, they just flip a switch? And that's exactly what happened. So it's really cool to see that the best player in the game, everyone's kind of like, oh, are they washed? Are they done? Championship hangover extended? No, this team absolutely just turned it on when they needed to. And it's really cool to see.
I really think that it just kind of speaks to how good Asia is and how great she is as an athlete in general. You know what I mean? I think so often we talk about greats in the WNBA or greats in women's sports in general, and maybe Asia doesn't get enough love because she's currently playing. And you see that all the time with players that are currently in the game. The love comes afterwards. When you're not getting your ass spanked by said player, it's a little bit easier to love them as a former hater of Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? I'm just saying this is very much a situation where watching her do this again and again. And like you said, Sook, the championships she has are nice. The accolades that she has are nice. But there's something about this one and the ability to just flip a switch, turn it on. The roster's different. Everybody was counting you out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
But I think SPJ can probably talk on this further that, like, sure, they got here. They flipped that switch. but it ain't going to be a cakewalk to lift in that championship.
No. So before I talk about my plays in this game, I have 3 props in this game. Don't really have a strong lead on a side. I know Eddie is on the Aces to win this game. I kind of lean a little more with the Phoenix Mercury to keep this close, but I don't want to have any involvement with the side. The reason why I don't have any future bets in this game, in this final series either, is because I bet the Phoenix Mercury at 15-1 about 3 months ago to win the championship. So I'm sitting on a 15-1 ticket for this team to win it all. Now, technically, I could hedge and put, I think I did like a quarter unit on the 15-1 at that point. So I could hedge my ticket with the Aces to win it all as well. But to be honest, I kind of just want to ride out my cup of coffee ticket to see if the Mercury win it at 15-1. I also have a 19-1 ticket for Alyssa Thomas to be the finals MVP sitting in my back pocket too. So I don't really have I don't want to have any more future investment in this series. Maybe I could hedge. And again, I put cups of coffee on this chat. So it's not really like I'm going to walk away with a substantial amount of money. I'd rather just put the 5 or 10 on it. Feel good about it. If I win the $150 I'm going to walk away with. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So not really technically betting advice. That was probably right. Hedging might probably be the move, but I don't really want to put, $65 or something on the Aces to win and just sip cups of coffee the rest of the time. So I'll just kind of sweat it out. So futuristically perspective, that's kind of how I see that from that angle. And I kind of feel like the Mercury are going to get the job done, even though the Aces have been spectacular. But in this game tonight specifically, I have 3 props. You guys talked about her to start us off. Eddie said it on the timeline. You just don't overthink it. Just take A'ja Wilson in this game. The first one I have is A'ja Wilson over 36.5 points and rebounds. Now, she has had one game against this team. The last time they played, she had 19 points in that one, which is kind of low for her. She usually flirts anywhere between the 22 to 26 point range. That's kind of her average on the season. However, the other 2 games against them this year, 30 and 16, 26 and 18. She has had 12 plus rebounds in 7 straight games against this team dating back to last season. This Phoenix Mercury team does struggle on the glass in particular portions, and A'ja Wilson is just on an absolute heater. So I'm not going to sell you guys anymore. She's the MVP for a reason. Set it, forget it. Don't overthink it. A'ja Wilson over 36.5 points and rebounds. Speaking of another chalky one, going to the other side of things, Alyssa Thomas. This is her first opportunity in her entire illustrious career to win a championship. I don't think we should take that lightly. She has also been fantastic for this team all season long, leading in 3rd in the MVP voting. And she has hit this PRA in 4 of her last 5 games in the playoffs, flirting with triple doubles in every single game. Again, not going to overthink this. This is the first opportunity to take a game in a situation to go into this final series. I don't even think you need to think about taking the 2 best players over 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists. You could take her RA if you want at 17.5 or 18.5 for some plus money value. I just want to rope in the points because she has been scoring a lot recently, 18 plus points in 5 straight games, even though she hasn't gone over this PRA line in a bunch of matchups against the Aces this season and even dating back to last year when she was on the Connecticut Sun. Don't really care. This is the finals. It's a completely different situation. Give me Alyssa Thomas to be Alyssa Thomas over 34.5 PRA. Now, one more, a little less chalky. If you want to go something that's not just the 2 best players on the court, SPJ, good job telling us that those 2 guys should probably have good games. I really like this one a lot, too. This one actually might be my favorite. The PA. Let's go, Adam. Adam just texted me. He also has the Mercury at 15-1. Gotta love it. The points and assists for Chelsea Gray over 16.5. Now she's been an assist animal over the last 5 games for the Aces, leading them obviously to the finals. So if you don't just want to play the assists, feel free to do so. It's 6.5 for plus money. She has hit that in one of her last 2 games against the Aces with 9 assists in that game, and she has also had 6+ in 4 straight as well, leading into the finals. However, I do like roping in the points because she has been really good scoring the basketball, 17, 12, and 15 in her last 3 games. She's also hit this in 5 of her last 6 games in the playoffs, and she's had 12, 16, and 9 and 20 in her last 4 games against the Aces. I think that she's going to have to score in this game. Jackie Young has been spectacular alongside A'ja Wilson. I mean, just incredible. It's worth a sprinkle if you want to as well, chat, if you're listening in. If you don't think that A'ja wins the MVP of this series, if you don't think Alyssa Thomas wins it, maybe Jackie Young would be the one because she has been phenomenal for this team. Chelsea, last point about Gray. Chelsea Gray is a professional. She's been in this league a long time. She's played in a lot of finals. This is not the first time she's been here. And I think that they're going to really lean on her experience in this situation. Obviously, A'ja and Jackie have also been into a lot of finals as well. But Chelsea Gray head of the pack there. I do think that this is a really good opportunity. Good question, Tim. I like Sabali's PR quite a bit. I looked at her points. I do like her points a little bit better. You can take the PR if you would like to. I don't hate that line, but I didn't want to have 6 props to fit you guys for one game. It's a long series. We'll see how we do.
Since when?
Yeah, right. I do have Sabali's points in the parlay that Adam mentioned earlier that I posted on the timeline. If you guys want to go get involved with that. For the parlay that I posted on the timeline too, I put the under in that purely because I like when I put a parlay together that's in the plus 2,000 to 3,000 range. And if I do feel like in the particular situation the game has a chance to go under, it astronomically juices the odds. Now, these are lotto parlays, guys. These are $5 to $10 sprinkles. We know how these goes. Most of the time they get fairly close. Sometimes they just don't quite happen. That's why I like the under. I did take the parlay without the under in it as well. It's like plus 26 to 1, basically, with all of those angles. So you can do that too, depending on how you want to play it as well. Just if you saw that on the timeline for the people that are watching. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing in this game, boys. I'm excited to watch it tonight. It's going to be awesome. And I'm very excited for this entire series. Sad this WNBA season is over, and this might be the last WNBA season we get for an entire year. So let's enjoy it while it's here.
Unrivaled, baby.
Hopefully that's not the case. We're all trying to get down with Unrivaled, but hopefully we don't lose an entire WNBA season. Hovey, heard you guys want to know.
All right now. Adam, why do you have that 15 to 1 Mercury ticket? I booked it in June, right before they got DeWanna Bonner. You can come up here if you want to and say hi. You don't have to text me in the shower.
Don't be shy. You're a Celtics fan. I'm gonna give you a warm embrace.
You're a basketball guy.
I'm doing some college football capping over here, just listening to you guys in the background here. I'll turn my light back on. Basically because I know the right people to tail, and I saw somebody suggest that I invest in the Mercury at 15 to 1. Let me see. I'll look up when I actually got that ticket. I feel like I've had it for a while. Not preseason or anything. I got it on maybe was it preseason? June 27th I placed it. So when was that?
That was about when I bet mine, and it was before the trade deadline when the DeWanna Bonner rumors were that she was going to go and play with her wife.
June 27th, and I threw 25 on it. So, pays out 400 if it hits. And I texted someone this morning with that same question that you brought up, wondering like, should I be hedging this? Because you can if you max hedge it, just like I've done the math. You guys don't need to. At a $25 investment, 15 to 1, I could max out roughly $200 of profit and just call it a day. But man, the way they're playing right now, it's hard to even want to eat into the winnings, isn't it? Just kind of want to sit back.
That's how I feel. I mean,
at the same time, if the Mercury do win game 1 and then we're getting a plus money number on the aces, that might be the time to consider hedging.
100%. And that could very much so happen tonight. I think that they could steal one at home in this game. And that would be a perfect opportunity to flip flop for sure. If you get the plus sign, and maybe they even go down 3-2-1 or something at some point. That's going to be really fun too. Chat, just get used to this because there's going to be certain situations coming very soon when the NBA starts where all 4 of us are going to be chatting NBA with you guys because Adam's unfortunately though for you chat, all you Boston haters out there, we got another Celtics fan in the house.
We have one chatter that comes in every single time. First thing he says, Adam, is hi, hello, how you doing? Fuck Boston. That's exactly.
Can we talk about how Kobe Bryant is not even the best Laker of all time, let alone a top 5 NBA player?
Unprovoked violence. Yeah, you're gonna have fun this entire season. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Just because he's a Celtics fan doesn't mean he can't shit on Vsauce. He understood the assignment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Actually, you know what? Since we're about to have some fun, do you really need to cap the NCAA, or do you want to hang with us for 10 minutes because we're about to preview the Western Conference in the NBA and play a fun game? You want to join us?
All right, I can hang for a couple minutes. Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
So that's the WNBA finals, guys. Go check out Eddie's scribbles at bettingnews.com. I gave you guys the plays. That's what's going to happen tonight. Go watch some basketball tonight. But let's talk about the NBA now. We're going to be jumping in. Sook made so what we're going to do, Adam. Actually, Sook, I'll let you tee it up. What are we doing?
Yeah, this was actually Vsauce's idea. We're going to do a little bit of Wild Wild West in honor of what you guys do on Mondays with the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's just get right into it. Boys, all 15 Western Conference teams, we're going to rank them into 3 different categories. If you have not checked out Vsauce's article about the Western Conference yet, go ahead and head over onto bettingnews.com and check that out. I'm excited to do this, boys, because if we're being realistic, there's only really 5 teams out west that have a chance at the chip, and then 5 teams that will probably be the mediocre, the bad, and then 5 teams that will probably be the ugly. That's what will be the most fun to talk about because, I love shitting on the New Orleans Pelicans, but we'll get there. Boys, how do we want to start? How do we want to do this? Maybe V, you can tell us how you want to do it since this was your bright idea.
Why don't we just go in inverse order of last year's Western Conference standings? Start from the really bad, and then work our way up to the top.
So start with the ugly then? Is that what we're going to do?
Start with the ugly. Let's talk about skinny Zion.
All right, so
dude
the
looks
New
like
Orleans
a twig.
Yeah.
He does. That Ozempic really hit different, didn't it, Adam?
All right. If we're
real.
going in that order, boys, then we're starting with the Jazz, which I'm pretty sure we know where they're going.
Yeah, I mean, is there a category after the ugly?
It's the Cam Ward category, the ass category.
The good, the bad, the ugly, and the relegated.
The relegated.
We introduced relegation to American sports. I think that'll keep some of these athletes honest.
The good, the bad, the ugly, and the G League. That's where the Jazz are going.
Hey, Adam, no love for the Jazz with the two angels riding the ship.
Listen, I got a soft spot for Danny and his kid Austin. I think they did a great job in Boston. I think that Danny is going to continue to accumulate every treasure trove of picks under the sun to facilitate every 3-team trade he possibly can. Look, Utah, Danny's got a plan. Danny's always got a plan. He's always a few steps ahead in terms of what he would like to happen. So I think that everything you're seeing there, it's not fluky, it's very strategic, but there are no misconceptions about where the Jazz are as a franchise right now, which is in the toilet. I mean, this team, you know, depending on where you do your shopping, right? Like I got one book in front of me right now. Odds to win the West. We're not talking about the championship, just the West. The Utah Jazz are 500 to 1. I had to hesitate there because I had to count the zeros. The Jazz are not even in the conversation. It's disgusting. You're going to be hate watching this team on League Pass. They're not even going to be entertaining.
Laurie's gone, right?
Yeah,
right,
Laurie's
gone.
100%.
The question is obviously what if Laurie, because Laurie played like an absolute animal in Eurobasket over the summer, and what if Laurie comes out and plays like that to start, but their development program for Will Hardy is once again for this team to suck ass again, so they can just keep collecting picks, and are they just gonna then trade Laurie midseason?
Out with leg cramp. Either that or he's gone. Just like John Collins. Like Collins said it last year. He's like, they didn't let me play.
Yeah.
Not to talk about the Jazz too much, but like we talked about Laurie. He's like been such a victim of circumstance in his entire career, from Chicago to like finally playing the 3 in Cleveland and then being shipped off from there. He's had such like bad luck, but he's still been an all-star. I just want to see him be on a good team.
Hey, there's a team out in the East that needs a 7-foot European that can shoot threes. I'm just saying. Somebody
are they green colored?
And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at this depth chart, guys. And look, I'm interested in seeing Ace Bailey off of the, trying to dictate his draft position and all that stuff. I was a big Walter Clayton Jr. guy in college. He's fun. But Kessler is, when they feel like it, a walking double-double, but he's not going to give you a lot of points. The center position in general for this team, I mean, Jesus Christ. Kessler, Yusuf Nurkic, Kyle Filipowski, who I think is just Kessler with a different name, and then Kevin Love is your fourth center. Kevin Love is your fourth center in the year of our Lord 2025. I mean, what in the world does that say about Utah's plans? I know Danny Ainge desperately wanted Kevin Love when he was running the Celtics. This is not the same Kevin Love that he has acquired with the Utah Jazz.
A picture of Kevin Love at Media Day in the Jazz uniform. They're like, what happened to the sport that I love?
He's just sitting there with a stash.
Kevin Love on the Utah Jazz is basically Hakeem Olajuwon as a Toronto Raptor.
Let's
paycheck,
go.
Man. Collecting a paycheck.
This is Patrick Ewing playing for Seattle.
We should you should just hang him up, Kev. We got to move on. We're never going to get through all these teams if we spend this much time shitting on the Jazz. Should we shit on the Pelicans some more? I think they can go into this.
I don't think we need to shit on the Pelicans. I've shit on them enough for
Zion
all of
has
us.
no shit left. It's
yeah,
it's all
out of him.
It's all out.
That's
I
funny.
do think that this roster is just like a mishmash. You have Herb Jones, Trey Murphy. None of these guys seem like they fit together. You have guys like Jose Alvarado, who seems like he should deserve more minutes, but never ever gets them. Then you also have DeJounte Murray, who kind of beefs with everyone that he's ever been on a team with. We saw him do it with D. White in San Antonio, and I'm sure he's not happy that they drafted Jeremiah Fears now, but I'm high on that kid. So I just do think that this New Orleans team is just like the vibes are going to be so weird. They barely beat the team from the NBL last night. Sure, Zion looked a little bit bullish, but like it was still an NBL team. So I don't know. I have a ticket for this team to actually be the worst team in the NBA this year. I think I got it at like some crazy odds, but I'm so low on this team. If you guys want to poop on them, then poop on them. Join me.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be good. I think that you just added Jordan Poole to a roster that's already
Jordan
dysfunctional and isn't going to get any better. Yeah, there might be some highlight plays, but those highlight plays are going to come down 25. So it just really doesn't hit the same anymore. But ugly.
I just
I'm
hope
ready
Trey
to-
Murphy finds his way onto a good team at some point
Ah,
because I like
And
watching
Herb.
that kid, and this one sucks.
He's such
Yep.
a good player, man. He was awesome last year too. Isn't it going to be wild if Jordan Poole goes and plays with Zion and they just start cooking? Is that just going to be crazy? Am I just totally in fantasy land?
I mean,
Probably.
I'm sure they'll put up
Okay, Lan.
crazy betting numbers that will get lines that they
Sure.
soar over, but they'll still lose the game. I think we
Yeah.
should keep it going, boys, because I think the next one is going to create a shitload of debate. They actually have a top 5. They were the 3rd team last year, bottom 3rd in the West, but they now have, I think, 3rd or 4th Wembanyama MVP odds. Obviously, the books think that Wemby's going to go absolutely nuclear, enter into the conversation of one of the best players in the world. Boys, they finished bottom 3rd last year in the West. Are we putting them in the bad? Are we upgrading them
Good.
a little bit?
I'm putting them in the good.
I think they might be the good, man. Top
just-
5?
Guys, just remember, we only can do 5 in each category. And
Yeah.
we've got a laundry list of good teams that can go in this
I
good
didn't.
category.
All right, I didn't know I needed to evenly distribute these things.
It has to be
Yeah.
5,
5 and 5.
All right,
Yeah.
so
I don't know, man. Wemby, like, look at the respect he's getting from the books. The defensive player of the year. He was a shoo-in to win that award 2 years. But like, look what happened to him last year. He's also made a crazy recovery, and he literally spent the summer collecting Infinity Stones. Like, that's fucking scary. Boy.
He's a monk. He's a magician. He
Playing
added
soccer,
15
working with
pounds.
KG. Then you got a lot of Hakeem. Come on, like,
I'm gonna put him in the good, guys.
I think so. I'm with
I'm gonna
Adam
put
on
him in the
this.
good. I was just while you were talking, I was scanning the rest of the conference real quick, and I've got some fringe teams as far as the good, and I'm putting the Spurs in that fringe conversation. And if I gotta, bury one to lift these guys, the only reason that I would put them in the bad versus the good, health concerns.
Mhm.
But if you're telling me that we get a healthy Wemby, healthy Castle, I don't
The
even
other
need a
kid too,
healthy
Dylan
Gasol
Harper.
necessarily. I
Yeah,
like
Dylan Harper,
I
the kid they
like
drafted
Clark.
this year at 15 as well. He's really good. He's a good sized forward. I'm excited, man.
I see you
go.
still dragging the nuts. What's up? Yeah, I'm putting them in the good, guys. I'm putting them in the good.
SPJ, you
I'm
sound
comfortable with
hesitant.
that.
I just think they're better teams, but we can move on. I don't disagree that they deserve to probably be in that category, but I think we're going to regret having them in the good later. But
I'm
it's
not.
okay. We can. I know you feel good about it. That's okay. That's fine.
right,
Can we? Is the next
I
team
already
the
got a
King?
mental list. I'm not regretting anything.
Is the next team the Kings?
No,
Don't
the next
praise
team
it.
up is the pesky Portland Trailblazers. Adam, if you don't know, all 3 of us are super, super duper league pass darling fans of pesky Portland. We love Chauncey. Denny is open late night. Vsauce is also a big scoop guy, compares them to Russ a lot. But where are we putting them? I don't think that we put them in the ugly. I think that we put them in the bad and just keep it short and sweet. But does anybody want to argue another way?
No.
Hand up.
Adam?
Ugly.
Adam.
Ugly.
Really?
I think we have to.
Drew Holiday, who I absolutely love. Thank you for helping to banner 18 for the Celtics. Is just at the end of the line, man. Like, that contract's going to age poorly. Guy was playing too many minutes at this point. He looks run down. Now you're asking him to be a defensive star in a team that really lacks any level of defense under Chauncey Billups. There's no Damian Lillard. He's already announced he's not playing this year. So, Shaden Sharp, we'll see. Adija, we'll see. Klingon, I mean, truly, like, how much do we really like? I would like to see him get more minutes as he got the uptick toward the end of last year. But
I'm a huge Klingon guy. I hope he sees the minutes next year. I think
he should. He should. I think he proved enough to get more minutes. But like after that, Kamara, like, no. I mean, this roster sucks, guys.
Kamara was all defensive.
Cool. Who's going to score? Anthony Simons isn't there anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Scoot Henderson is not playing right now.
Okay, so SPJ is a giant Denny guy. I do think Denny is very good, but I do think that Shaden Sharp has superstar potential.
Jay Dizzle, defense wins games. If you have offense, it does.
I do think that Chauncey's building a good culture down there. They've gotten better over the last couple of years. And again, we only have 5 teams for the ugly. Like that's another argument that I will make is that there's only 5 teams. All
right, but there's only 15 in the conference, and we
only have 3 spots left in the ugly if we put Portland there.
2.
I couldn't be. I mean, do whatever you want. It's your show. I could not be more comfortable. I could not be more comfortable with them being in the ugly. This team is
like he kind of agreed.
I love the Portland Trailblazers. Denny's will be open late for the pancakes all season long. Once again, chat, and we all love them, but they need to be in the ugly.
I mean, a team can be fun to watch and still blow.
Well, they might be decent, but I mean, this Western Conference is just so fucking good that it's
a deep conference.
Yeah,
SPJ had the Spurs being bad too, so like we can see where his scale is kind of, you know what I mean? I respect it.
Yeah, I'm trying to just be a middle,
All right, boys, these next 2 ones we're going to do together so I can kind of force your hand a little bit. Let's do the Kings and the Suns, boys. Where are we putting each of these guys?
The Kings are ugly, and I want to put the Suns there too, but it feels like they still have a little bit of like talent. There's so much unknown that we have no idea what's going to happen. I think the Kings we know are ugly. That roster is ugly.
Kings are going to be ugly. Even DeMar DeRozan said last year sucked during his media day, and he didn't seem like he was inspired for this new season.
It looks like they're going to sign Russ. Like, what problems did that solve?
I like Kings for the ugly too. They were one of my uglies when we were talking about this earlier. Adam, you got any opposition for the Kings going to ugly?
I don't think you guys are going to agree with me, but I actually would put the Kings in the bad and the Suns in the ugly. That's like if I'm doing this on my own. Obviously, this is a committee, but if I'm doing this on my own, I don't think that what we saw from Phoenix last year was all that fluky. And now you've lost Kevin Durant. I think this team just has a bad roster outside of Devin Booker, who's obviously not all that much of a leader. Jalen Green is a remarkably inconsistent scorer. Look at what happened with Houston. Ime didn't know how to use him, and I'm not sure this is going to fare all that much better. Mark Williams fills a need, kinda, but that's only because of what the moves they made in the offseason to, trim the fat at the big man position. He would have been a much better fit on the Lakers, but then they went out and got Ayton, and we'll talk about them. I just think this roster, is terrible for Phoenix. This is a bad roster. So I'd put them in the ugly. Sacramento, for me, goes in the bad simply because of the talent. I mean, you still have Domantas Sabonis, who I have a crush on.
Love
DeMar DeRozan.
We're big boner guys around here, Adam.
Keegan Murray, Malik Monk, Dennis Schroeder is solid off the bench. People are trying to make the case that Dennis Schroeder's a Hall of Famer for his accomplishments at Eurobasket. I just think you have enough talent on this roster to light the beam frequently enough to where this is a team that is just your dictionary definition of mediocre. Hover around 500, probably a play-in tournament team. Like Ugly's bottom 5 in the conference, right? If we're doing 5-5-5, Ugly's bottom 5 in the conference. I don't believe Sacramento is a bottom 5 in the conference ugly. And if they are, it's close. But there are others that have a better argument.
Okay.
Yeah, I see the argument. I think Sacramento's bad. I think they're dysfunctional. I think the 3-point shooting is lacking. All the names that you named outside of Keegan Murray in this league today, they're really not shooting 3-pointers at a high volume. They're not defending the 3-point line very well. That's something we've seen all of last year. And I don't think it's going to make a huge change this year just because the coaching has stayed the same. The personnel has stayed the same. With Phoenix, I think Devin Booker and Jalen Green can win you some games. I really do. I think they're on the younger side. I think they both have a little bit more talent than an aging DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. But what are you guys thinking? Sook, FPJ?
I think the Suns, I don't think that they'll be like very good, but I do think they're going to surprise people this year. I do think that they have three serviceable centers now. Even you have Nick Richards as your third center now. You get the guy from Duke as your backup center. I think that's pretty good. And I know everyone hates him, but Dylan Brooks, bronze medalist over the United States, come on now, put up like 38 points, won that game. He's been a hooper. He hasn't had a losing season in the NBA since like his second year in the league with the Grizzlies when they were still fully rebuilding. But we forget he was the scapegoat in Memphis last year in Houston. He was definitely very serviceable there. And I just do think that I want to put the Suns in the bad. I don't think that they're going to make noise and impress people, but I do think that they'll be hovering around that play-in spot.
Skit, I agreed with you on this, but they wanted him in good, so they. I actually don't mind putting the Suns in the ugly and like moving on. I know Adam wants them in bad, but like the other team, I'm just looking at the rest of the teams, and I can't.
In bad. I want the Suns in ugly. I want the Kings in bad.
Oh, you guys, all right. So V and Sook want them in bad. I'm looking at the rest of the teams in the conference, and like none of those other teams are going to be as bad as the Suns this year, in my opinion. So
what about the Grizz?
I think the Grizz are going to be better than the Suns. Not by much, but I think roster they're going to be better.
Is a mishmash of veterans and very young, unseasoned guys. Doesn't make any sense.
The Suns.
I don't know.
I think they're both bad. I think
they're both bad. Yeah.
I think that they're.
We're arguing semantics at this point. Somebody had one of the Grizzlies, I think the Grizzlies or the Sun are going to have to be in that last ugly spot.
Are the Grizzlies even up next?
Yeah. How about you guys do me the favor and let me put the Grizzlies in the ugly? Do me a solid here.
You really think they're going to be that bad, huh?
It makes no sense, this roster. You have guys like G.G. Jackson. Like, you're moving Desmond Bane because you have guys that are nipping at his heels with talent and potential. And now you sign JJJ. You still have John Morant, who's really not proven that he's a winning basketball player. I just don't understand the construction of this roster. You did so well drafting in this tumultuous time where Ja was just playing with guns, and now you still have Ja on the roster, but all these other young guys are showing so much potential. It doesn't make sense to me. And I've told you guys this before. Whenever log jams like this happen, all of these dudes are always looking at their future in the league. And they're not happy if they think the guy in front of them playing is not as good as them or is just playing because they have the bag. Like Santi Aldama, they paid him. Do you think G.G. Jackson is going to be happy next year if he's playing behind Santi just because Santi got the bag?
Looking at the rest of the conference, I could see the Grizzly argument for being in the ugly. Just looking at everybody else that's kind of left now. Like, I don't think the Clippers are ugly. The Clippers are not going to be ugly. What other teams are we thinking of in that kind of category? I wouldn't say like the Mavs
Nuggets,
are not going to be ugly.
No, the Mavs, the Clippers. I mean,
so I think we've got the ugly then. I see the argument, Sook, especially when you look at who's left. Maybe Phoenix could be the argument could be made, but I think again I believe in Devin Booker. I always have, and maybe that's a me problem, but I do think that he can win you some games when he's not playing with actual G Leaguers.
Okay,
has the mouse and he's determined. But let's do this. We're we're split on this. So let's ask chat. Let's ask chat to decide. Chat, do you guys go? What's your last argument?
I was just gonna say last point. Jordan Ott is fantastic coaching prospect. Guy's been going through the ranks very, very fast. He's been part of very good teams. Like, he was on the Lakers bubble team. He was their lead offensive assistant. They won that bubble championship last year. The Cavs had the best offense in the league. He was their lead offensive assistant last year too. Now he's a very young head coach heading into the Valley. I'm just high on Jordan Ott as well. So I do think that things might be changing here. You see with Matt Ishba saying all the right things in the media as well. He wants this team to be good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You shouldn't make these points. I mean, you got two head coaches though that we don't really have a lot to know about in both of these situations with both of these teams, with the Grizzlies and the Suns. It's the same argument, just depends on which coach you like a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Let's let chat decide, and then we'll move on and we'll move to the bad. Chat, you guys want Sun to be in the ugly category, or do you want the Grizzlies to be in the ugly category? I think at this point it kind of just chop and change. We'll leave it as the Grizzlies for now, and we can move on to the next team. What's the next team on the list, sir?
Next team up is the Golden State Warriors.
Bad.
No chance of them being good, right?
They're one bad
think
injury, and they're one injury from one of those old guys away from being.
Steph looked better with Jimmy Butler, but he also was, again, he's showing his age, which is not a knock on Steph. Steph is still Steph occasionally, and maybe for points in a playoff run. But I mean, Draymond's getting older. Hield they just don't use him the right way. Horford is, just trying to beat the crap out of Father Time on an annual basis. Pods should be starting for this team, quite frankly. Start to usher in the youth movement a little bit. Kuminga, I like to see him get more of a run, but I just don't. With the other teams that we've got that we haven't gotten to, I don't see how they're not in the ugly, but I don't see how there's an argument to put Golden State in the good.
This team really hinges on the fact that is Jimmy Butler going to come in and be another Draymond Green, averaging fucking 17 points, 6 and 7, or are you going to come in and help Steph carry the scoring load and give your guy like 22, 23 points per game? And I think try to facilitate that way. I think he's going to have to make a little bit more of an effort on that side of the ball, something we didn't see him do in Miami the last few years. But yeah, I have no arguments. Bad.
We can move on. You guys covered
Nothing
everything.
truly inspiring, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, the Dallas Mavericks, boys. That picture of Luka is actually from his time in Dallas, but now he's in LA. But where are we putting Dallas? We're going to wait for Kyrie to come back. Kyrie is saying that he might come back in the spring, but who knows? Obviously bad, right? Cooper, does he move the needle to good?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
No.
I will say, though, of all the teams in bad that we're probably going to put in this category, I think that they had the most opportunity to possibly surprise and be good because of the possible talent. And that roster is pretty deep. If you look at,
you have Nico Harrison's phone number on speed dial. What is the argument for this team to rank among the good, the top 5 in the West? Truly, I want to know.
If Kyrie's ahead of schedule, the way he might be, I think that this team with AD, Cooper, and Kyrie, the depth that they've added in the front court. Now, AD's played his best ball when he's got guys behind him, like a guy like, Dwight Howard. Now you've got Daniel Gafford backing him up. You've got a guy like Derek Lively coming off of the bench and really they said he's grown, 3 inches now? He's 7'4", apparently. I don't know if you guys heard that, but yeah, this is a roster that maybe not this season because of Kyrie's health, but once Kyrie comes back, this is a roster to me that's constructed. Nico Harrison fell into success. Let's not get that twisted. But Cooper being on this team does change a lot.
I need to see how Cooper Flagg and Anthony Davis.
Adam, he's going to be a Celtic in a few years. You got to let him.
I need to see how Flagg and Davis even coexist. I need to see how this works. And I need to see how they have the minutes to go around for Davis, Flagg, Lively, Gafford, Washington. Like, are you kidding me? This is I realize my Celtics have, like a G League caliber front court, but this team, there are too many options. There are too many options to serviceably make sense on a basketball court, even in this era of positionless basketball. I don't know how it works.
They have the one position that always has to play the position. They have like 4 centers.
The only thing I would say is I would say have the second best depth, but maybe third best depth in the Western Conference if you look at them 1 through 10. Because Najee Marshall played substantial, awesome minutes for this team last year, and he's like your 9th rotational player. Like, that is really solid depth. And what did the Oklahoma City Thunder do last year to win the championship? Have the best depth in the entire NBA.
And
so, youth. And youth. I mean, the Mavericks have that as well, with guys that are in like their either prime or younger part of their career. So I don't like this team. Like, I'm not trying to sell them too much, but like just on paper, like they do look like they have a chance to be like frisky. Yeah. But they deserve to be in the bad category. 100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So we got next. Wolves and Clippers next.
Yeah, I think we do these two together because I don't think either of them make it into the good. But then the bad is all sewn up. Then, boys, what do we think about these two teams? The board man obviously dealing with being tree man right now. Anthony Edwards talking about how he got MJ to give him some post up moves. We saw him explode with his volume from beyond the arc last season, but now he's saying he wants to add the new layer into his game of getting up into the post and playing a little bit of bully ball against smaller guards. Boys, Clippers, Wolves, bad, good. Where are we putting them?
The Clippers feel
bad.
like bad. Yeah, just like the same reason with Golden State. This is a team that is a bunch of aging stars. Kawhi finally played a significant amount of games last year, and now there might be another reason he's off the court for some extended period of time. Who knows what's going to happen, what's going to come out of the investigation? I have no idea. But right now, it just feels weird. And then Chris Paul back? What? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Bad.
I kind of thought when we were talking about this earlier and doing this, I kind of was thinking the Clippers are like one Kawhi / Harden or both injury away from being in the ugly category. Like Zubac is great. We loved him last year, but like he still needs pieces around him to be successful. John Collins coming in is good on this team, but like as you guys mentioned, like this team is old, and if they get hurt or banged up and they miss some time, which was an anomaly last season that neither one of them did, like they're going to be in trouble. So
And they lost.
I think. And they lost Norm, too, who was really good for this team last year.
Production hinges on a guy like Harden. You know what I mean? Harden's gotten the best out of his center everywhere he's played. I think it's no surprise that Zubac had his best offensive year last year. If Harden goes down, those numbers, I'm sure, go with him.
You said bad too, Adam, right? You agree?
Bad for the Clippers. Yeah, I'm thinking about the Wolves, and I think the thing with the Wolves that you need to think about is you're thinking about everybody else. We've already got the Spurs in the good. So there's room for 4 more. And we haven't talked about the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Rockets. Okay? So that's 4 more that I could comfortably sit here and put in the good, but that puts the Wolves obviously in the bad, and then you're done. The question is, would you put the Wolves ahead of any of those 4 teams? It's not the Thunder. It's not the Nuggets. It's probably not the Rockets with Durant there now. So it's the Lakers. It's basically the Lakers versus the Wolves.
That's a great point, Adam.
And I think you could make an argument to put the Lakers in the bad, not because they're bad, but age concerns, at this point in time. That's an old team with not a whole lot of depth. And, we'll see about Luka and the whole best shape of his life shit that happens every couple of years. Like, we'll find out, but like Reeves is Reeves, Rui's Rui, Ayton's going to get hurt. LeBron's going to miss time. If nothing else, they're managing him. Marcus Smart, who I love like a relative anyway, he's not going to stay on the floor. At some point, he's getting hurt. LaRavia is nothing special. Vanderbilt, no. Hayes, no. Like Vincent, no. Dalton Connect apparently sucks. So, it's honestly the Lakers probably are in the bad and the Timberwolves are in the good. That's probably how this shakes down.
V gets his V gets his moment of having a Celtics fan that is not / a Lakers fan like Sook, where V gets the Adam Laker or Celtics fan who has probably a terrorist hatred of the Lakers. Like
before Adam said everything he did, I would have put the Lakers in that category, but I definitely see the argument. Like Austin Reeves is your third scoring option. Is that the situation that you really want to be in? Not to say that the Timberwolves have a better third option or more reliable, but this is a Timberwolves team that's going to bring back all of their starters. A Timberwolves team that has hung their hat on defense. If Anthony Edwards takes the next step, like I think everybody expects him to, they should be in the good category. They should be.
I don't know, boys. JJ Redick's been talking to GPT for his coaching, so who knows if he'll unlock the AI.
That right there should put him in the fucking bad category. My God, JJ.
Put him in the ugly.
Hey, I will say, yeah, well, that's fine. I will say at this point, this is where the Spurs and the Wolves should trade places, in my opinion.
Yes, okay.
I think,
fair.
I think the Spurs should be in the bad if we're looking at it honestly and change them over. But you guys felt good about leaving them there, so we can just leave them there.
We did, but that's the fun of going in that order.
What the Spurs on the good list is the equivalent to? Putting the Spurs on the good list is the equivalent to when the NBA a few years back released the NBA at 75 list. You remember the 75
Yeah.
best players in the NBA? And it was controversial because Luka made the lists, even though he hadn't done shit in the NBA yet. But people just said, yeah, but he's gonna be there. So we may as well just put him there now. That's the Spurs. Spurs are gonna be there in the next year or two. So you may as well just do it now. Just get it over with.
Oh
Do we
my
want to
God.
swap the
That's fair.
Lakers then with the Wolves?
That's fine.
I think we're split
Luka's-
here.
Luka's-
Unless Chat
Luka's
has
gonna
some
win it.
strong feelings.
Luka's going to win MVP. It's okay. I'll be fine.
Hey,
I would still swap out the Suns and Kings, but that's just me.
I'm still stuck on that. He's
They're still stuck over down there. in
Let's
the
talk
toilet.
about some bad teams. Let's talk about some bad teams.
Let's flip the. I think the overall the roster in Minnesota is better than probably what the Lakers have. Even though I think the star power in the Lakers is better than what the Minnesota.
See, this is the
Minnesota
shit,
has.
though. This is the stuff that the books do. You're putting the Lakers on the good list because they're the Lakers. You put that exact roster on a different team and Minnesota's roster on the Lakers, and you're going to flip those. Well, actually, you're not going to flip them. It's going to look the way it looks because,
Lakers are
again, it's
favored to
branding.
win. Yeah,
It's
they're favorite to
branding.
win all if that happens.
But the Lakers, the fucking Dallas Mavericks had a worse roster than what the Lakers have right now, and Luka Doncic carried them to an NBA Finals. So like they have a guy who can do that, and that does mean something.
They had Kyrie. Come on, Kyrie was playing out of his mind.
The Lakers have LeBron.
Kyrie's the most
Kyrie.
overrated player in NBA.
Hey!
Look, this
Kyrie
guy's
plays
Kyrie.
out of his mind when it counts.
We can
when it
flip
counted.
we can flip the Lakers and the Wolves. I think that's probably the move.
Okay, fine.
LeBron is legitimately, this is not even being an ass.
67.
LeBron is going to be 41 in December.
He still played like he was like a top 10 statistical player last
Is
season.
there a
number,
world in
Adam.
which he requests a trade at the deadline?
No.
Ah!
No, there isn't.
No, there's not. I know.
It's so nice having a
Not-
fourth person
not as
who
long
hates
as
the
there's
Lakers
kids
as
on
much
the
as V
roster.
does, so he's not like cornered now.
I'm always
Um,
cornered, man. Laker
welcome,
fans
Adam.
on
Join
each
the
side
party.
of me.
I think we did pretty good. I still
Yeah.
disagree about the Spurs. I'm sure there's some other disagreements between us. I know Adam wants to move the Kings so bad.
You should post the screenshot on Twitter. Have
Oh, we're
people
going to.
Oh,
react.
we will.
Yeah.
We will. We will. We'll tag you.
Cite some riots.
Chat, what do you guys think? How do you guys think we did? How we moving and grooving? Yeah, if there was an interesting column from Gerald, that would be funny.
If you guys had one team to pick that could make the jump into good from either bad or like obviously I guess not the ugly, but who has the biggest chance to switch categories this year?
The Kings into the bad.
Oh my God, Adam, you kill me.
I think, like I said, I think that what could be surprising is I do think that the Clippers, we all liked the Clippers last year. We talked about them. I like the John Collins edition and stuff, but I think that this team, maybe also all the stuff that's happened over the summer does bleed into their season and does mess with their season a little bit. And I think that they could flirt with being bad this year, as in maybe even ugly, like not very good at all. So maybe that would be a surprise for me. Is it also, do you guys think that we're also really, really high on the Rockets, which, I mean, how could you not be after what they did last year and adding KD and all the things? But like
Losing Van Vliet hurts.
it does. That does. I mean, Reed Shepard's going to have to be good this year for them to, or Amon's going to play a lot more point forward type
He'll
shit.
be running it by committee. That's what Ime
Yeah,
said.
that's what they said.
But it would be a big shock to me if that team is like mid this year based upon the expectations, no?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
especially because Sengun plays a lot of pinwheel. He also initiates a lot of offense. We saw it during Eurobasket, like we already talked about, that he kind of seemed like he took another step, being more aggressive at the rim. But I've always said that the big worry with Alperen is that he is one of the worst true shooting percentage, high usage players in the entire NBA. I do think that the worry there is a little bit that if you're increasing Sengun's usage, he's bad from the free throw line. He's bad from beyond the arc. So I do think that when you have him out there with Amen, you do need Reed probably out there to stretch the floor. It'll be interesting to see, but I'm not worried about them if that's weird, because I do think that they have enough personnel that they can kind of put together kind of a Frankenstein lineup.
I do think though this is also gonna like accelerate the timeline for a lot of these players, like the development they want to see from Sengun in terms of playmaking, with Amen in terms of bringing up the ball and initiating the offense, because they'll have way more reps at the position. It should really allow for an acceleration of two great players to then just kind of really get into the roles that they see them in. Because I don't think there's a world where Fred VanVleet is is initiating offense for the next 2 to 3 seasons in Houston, despite playing there for the next 2 to 3 seasons.
Right.
Well, again, like I said, I mean, Reed Shepherd this is his chance. Like we talked about him last year, and kind of he got flirted with playing a little bit, and he looked great when he had moments in those games where they just, were.
He was a 3rd overall pick, SPJ.
Yeah, I know he's a great hooper, but this is his chance to come in and actually be a possible big time player for this team this season, who could be a needle mover on this lineup. I mean, and we're going to find out if that's substantial or not. I just was throwing the Rockets out there because we're also high on them. I think collectively as a basketball fandom, just because of everything they have in place, Ime obviously with what he did last year, and with bringing in a superstar scorer like KD, it would just be surprising to me if this team is like 5th or 6th in the West, in my opinion. Like I think
that's not even to mention the guy you love too, Jabari, and the guy that he loves, Tari Eason. They have so many options here.
Got hella depth.
I think Jokic's coming for heads next year, man. I know we're talking about the Rockets, but I think Jokic coming for. I know he's not an emotional guy, but he made the comment. He's like, I don't give a shit about contracts. I'm gonna be a Nugget for life. This is where I'm at. Like he's coming for head tops after the way the season ended for them last year.
Added so much shooting.
He also did his best statistical season by far last year, and he still was not. I mean, I still think he should have won the MVP, but wasn't the MVP, and then took the Thunder to 7. And they improved that roster. They really desperately needed to. They got MPJ out of there. Thank God. Get that guy into New York and let him have some fun over there.
That was the only team in the West that had a chance of knocking off the Thunder last year.
And they would have done it too had they been healthy. I know MPJ sucks and he's out of there now, but he was on a bum shoulder. Your main 3-point threat, your main perimeter shooter is shooting with one shoulder. Aaron Gordon wasn't healthy. It was a tough road for the Nuggets. I think they're healthy. I think they've bolstered the roster. Another year with their head coach. I am very excited to see what Jokic does next year.
I did see this. Jokic was literally they brought refs in for the scrimmage, and Jokic literally talked to them for 20 minutes after the practice, showing them the moves that he does and saying basically like, yo, you got to call this, you got to call that. And it seemed pretty constructive. It wasn't combative at all.
This is the gamesmanship look that you talk about all the time when we're in the midst of the NBA season and in the midst of a playoff series even. This is the gamesmanship. This is, thinking ahead, because these are the same guys that they're going to see during the regular season. Bringing them in, doing this kind of stuff to see your superstar player who really doesn't play like a normal center. I mean, come on. You got to love that.
I mean, SPJ is going to hate me right now, but I talked about this early last year with Lou Dort. He was just mauling people in the first week of the season, and SPJ is like, we got to get this guy fucking out of here. And I was like, bro, I promise he's doing this so he can get away with it in the finals, and you're going to be pissed. And what did we see? We saw Lou Dort reaching and teaching every single time.
Alex Caruso and Lou Dort putting like curb stomping, taking turns on like poor little Pacers.
You're gaming the refs. You're getting them desensitized to the wrestling match that you put on for every 48 minutes you hit the floor.
I just don't even, the name just sends shivers down my spine.
Lou Dort.
Torture chamber.
God damn it.
Also another Canadian legend.
Oh, Jesus. Adam, it's been a pleasure talking NBA with you. I know we
I've
kept you a little
just
longer.
a preview of what's to come.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to have some more NBA shows across the network, too. Obviously, we'll still have the All-Sauce team. We'll have Adam pop in with us, but we'll have some more content for you guys as the season is right around the corner. Which
Hell yeah.
Boys,
look forward to it.
Appreciate you, brother. Have a good one. Take it easy. Enjoy the weekend. Yep. See you later. What? Say it again.
I said see you. Bye.
Oh, okay. Bye. Later.
That's like me too. If I ever cut the phone on somebody when they're like saying goodbye, I'll be like, "Oh, my bad." I call them back, but "Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to hang up on you."
It's also the fact that Colby's grandmother is watching us and has watched this whole time, and Colby's not even on the screen. Hi, Daisy.
Let's go.
Appreciate you. Thanks for watching. All right, we've got we can go overtime. There's nothing after us if we want to, and it's Friday. Vibes are high. Also dope that Adam did that with us. It kind of worked perfectly for him to be involved in that. Got a little taste of chat. Only knows Adam talking in NFL, and Adam is a huge NBA head.
We might have to throw up the bat signal for when we do the East.
I mean, we'll probably that day we might have any given wager leading into the show anyway, so it might work out. So we'll see. All right, boys, let's finish off the show. Let's talk NFL for a little bit. Unless you guys got anything else. Last point on the NBA. Go read V's article about the Western Conference if you want to read some more of his thoughts at bettingnews.com. East will be out soon as the season is right around the corner. We will not have all sauce team next week because we'll all be in Chicago. So you'll have it all live. We'll see you guys. We'll just post pictures and stuff. So what up, Owen? What's up, brother? How you doing?
Yeah.
I was worried about you, dude. We hadn't seen you in like 2 or 3 weeks. We were gonna send out the bat signal, but you're good now. You're back.
I have not been to preseason.
No, Chef has. Go tap into Chef. I'm sure he's got some parlays out there for you guys. Luka's not playing for the Lakers. Not really surprised. Don't care. So, oh man. Okay. Well, we hope you're all right. Sending vibes. Glad you're back. Music coming soon. Let's go.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk NFL. Let's go with the vibes. We're all going to mention one game that we want to talk about for you guys in the chat, and then give you guys our thoughts about them / bets we already have. So, Sauce Man, kick us off. What game are we going to?
The Eagles and the Broncos. I think this is going to be a good matchup. The Eagles are one of the teams that we're looking at. Everybody now they are 4-0 going into Week 5 against a Broncos team at home. Maybe not the prettiest of wins. That second half was kind of ugly against the Bucs. This is an Eagles team that is coming in as a 3.5-point favorite at home against a Broncos team that is now 2-2, looking to get right. And I really think this is going to be a good game. We're seeing the total here at 43.5, despite two offenses that we've seen put up big plays and can put up numbers. But I do think this is going to be a defensive grind. The Eagles' offensive line, while it's not hurt, Lane Johnson isn't at 100%. They're sporting a bunch of new faces on that offensive line too, and it's kind of why we've seen Jalen Hurts just a lot more in duress. We've seen Saquon Barkley not kind of be able to get that same kind of explosiveness behind the line of scrimmage. And because of that, going up against the Broncos front seven with two defensive ends, both ranked top 20 in pressure rate, I think it's going to be a good game, boys. I think the Eagles might even catch their first loss of the season. Got to wait for splits on that. But what are you guys thinking?
This game is... I don't like the 3.5 either way. The hook feels like it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
I think this is a big time test for the Broncos. And I think if they pass it, we have to have a separate discussion, unfortunately, about how good this team possibly might be. If the Eagles just do Eagles things at home, wouldn't be surprised if they win by a touchdown or more. I really like Troy Franklin, his receiving yards. That was what I was looking at. Cortland Sutton and him have the same amount of targets. I said this on the last show, but 27 targets, both of them, which is so interesting to me. Because you'd think that Sutton would be by far the most targeted player on this team. But I like Franklin's receiving yards, 39.5. Haven't tapped it yet. Probably going to bet it. Besides that, I don't know.
I like Sutton in this matchup too. I think that their strongest cornerback is the nickel cornerback, Cooper DeJean. They've been a little bit better on the outside, but like we saw Baker Mayfield kind of torch them last week. And that's with Chris Godwin playing in his first game in over almost a year. I thought Baker kind of cooked last week without his number one receiver. Chris Godwin was like not on the same page. He had a couple of drops. And then Emeka Egbuka didn't come into the game at 100% either. His offensive line has been decimated, and Baker still kind of went off through the air. Everybody wants to talk about how good this Eagles defense is, but if you're looking at just the stats, and that's something I've really got into this season, their expected wins is fucking versus their actual win total is insane. They are performing well over expectations, whether it's because of late game heroics, whether it's because of tip balls or like an interception that Baker threw at the end on a tip ball, things like that. Jalen Hurts went 0 for 8 in the second half of that game, did not complete a pass. AJ Brown is crashing out because of you can say it's because of the consistency of the target share, but a lot of it is because this is not going to fly come week 16, come week 1 or 2 of the playoffs. We saw it with the Chiefs last year. They were crazy, but their offense kind of was just struggling to win games. When did it matter most? In the Super Bowl. They couldn't put up points, and they got 40 on their head tops and really never were in that game. I think the Eagles might be kind of on that same kind of trajectory unless they get it together.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Two teams that, for me, I think both of these teams are fake good, in my opinion. I know the Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, and we got a lot of Birds fans in the chat that don't want to probably hear me say that or agree with that statement. But I think this team just kind of gets away with it in a lot of situations, and that doesn't mean that it's all about the dubs. So that's all that matters. But I don't know. I just don't. But I feel the same way kind of about the Broncos. Like the Broncos, yeah, they destroyed the Bengals last week, but like the Bengals were terrible. Like that was atrocious from them. I just don't know how good this team is either, offensively especially. So, yeah, two teams that are going to prove something this weekend. We'll find out, and I don't know which way it kind of goes for me. Suk, do you have any thoughts before you talk about your game?
Yeah, no strong thoughts on this one. This is just you kind of took the words right out of my mouth. I'm not too high on either of these teams. Obviously, Philly, like you said, they won it all last year, but like, have they really inspired us? Obviously, AJ Brown, that drama never seems to end, and now he's going to be facing one of the premier corners in the NFL. It just seems like if they lose this game and AJ doesn't have a good game, like you could add more acidity to that locker room and it might not be good. We see how fragile it is in the NFL year to year. 1 year you're on top, the next year you're 500, the year after that you're rebuilding. The NFL is super volatile year to year. So this is definitely a game that I don't have an official play in. These are two prove it to me teams, just like you said, SPJ. But I do think that the game that I want to talk about is kind of the similar situation of two prove it to me teams, with the Bucks going up to Seattle to take on the Hawks. Mayfield, Darnold reuniting. We saw with the press conference, everyone's kind of asking them questions about their history together. They don't really want to talk about it, even though they are homeboys. The Bucks are underdogs, boys. I don't know what exactly a side I would take with this game, because you guys know me, I love the Seahawks team. That pass rush finally kind of hit its stride last week after that secondary was kind of holding up the defense. They were getting a bunch of interceptions the first few weeks, but my two plays that I already have in this one are Cade Otton for 3 receptions. The Seahawks have been giving up this line to starting tight ends for the entire season. So I'm going to just go ahead and set it and forget it. I'll take Cade for 3. He might get 0, boys. We've seen him with 2 goose eggs already this year, but I do think that sometimes he is that safety blanket. And just seeing the receptions that they've given up, even with Kittle, he had 4 receptions on only 25 yards. So it does seem like they're going to give up opportunities to Cade. And I think he's had kind of a quiet season, but Baker does like his boy Cade, but you know who he likes more than that is Sterling Shepard. I took his longest reception at 15 yards. We know everyone was on him last week, but the injuries continue for the Bucks. They're not that much better. Evans is still out. Baker's boy Sterling will still be in the slot for him. He's actually hit this line, I think 3 of the 4 in this season, but dating back to last year, he's hit this line in 5 straight road games. I just think that he's probably going to get this in one little pop there. I love Sterling. I think Godwin obviously coming back does hurt the opportunity for this to be an easy cash, but I do think that Godwin's advanced age, they're still going to be playing it safe with him. So I like the two kind of guys that might go under the radar in Cade and Sterling in this one.
So I love everything that you just said, except the one thing, and that was Godwin. I am on Godwin this week. I am on his props as well. And it's because I think this offense is going to have to rely on different kinds of pass catchers. They are 0-4 so far without Mike Evans in the Baker Mayfield era. They are 0-6 over the last 6 games without Mike Evans. Whether he is having a big game or not, just his presence on the field has been huge for the Bucs. And the fact is that Chris Godwin was having a year last year. Chris Godwin has 4,000-yard seasons. He is a guy that has multiple 80-plus reception years. He is a guy that led the team in targets last year before he went down, that led the team in touchdowns. Was second in touchdowns and led the team in receptions and yards. He had a great relationship with Baker Mayfield, and last week it's why we saw him have 10 targets. Only 3 were catchable. He caught all fucking 3 of them. This is a situation where you have a guy coming back who is wide receiver 1 caliber. You need to use him, especially against this team that has struggled in the slot. That's exactly why I love Otton too. Otton takes a lot of his snaps out of the slot, and because they are undermanned at wide receiver, he's going to have to do it a lot more this week. This is a team that Suk has been talking about in the Seahawks, whose defense is good. And a lot of it has to do with their head coach, him coming over and bringing what he did. What was he coaching before? I can't remember off the top of my head. But Doug Baldwin talks about it on a podcast. He has brought that kind of energy that Pete Carroll had with the Legion of Boom back into Seattle. They are now starting to pride themselves on defense, and it's why they are playing so well, right? And I think that because of that, you got to line up Godwin in the middle. You got to put him in the slot. I am on his receiving yards total over. It's at 56.5. I thought that was a great line. But I think it's going to be a fun one in Seattle this week. I know Tampa's out there. They're very injured, but Tristan Wirfs is back. And I think he really allowed Baker to kind of sit in the pocket and get the guys the ball last week. We know that the offensive scheme is going to allow for some points to be put up. It's about Seattle. Can you handle it, and can you weather the storm?
Sook is going to have a very interesting Sunday because his main piece and his side piece are going to the same party. And
Chad,
that
never let the
well.
side piece and the main piece show up at the same event. It's disastrous.
That never works out well. So Sook's
Hey, I might finesse it into a good time. You never know.
What are they gonna fucking tie?
Oh my god!
They're gonna Eiffel Tower tie? I got one play in this game. I like everything you guys had to say. I wanted to take Jackson Smith to Jigba again, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna let JSN sit there this week. He'll probably go crazy. But I took a weird one. Something that the Bucs struggle with, and Sook knows this from watching this team, is allowing quarterbacks to run. Against the last 4 quarterbacks that they have played, guys who are known for running and guys who are not really known for running have all hit their rushing yards prop. Now, Sam Darnold's not he's not a Josh Allen-esque player, but I really like him to get over 5.5 rushing yards, minus 115. 62 for Hurts last week. Tyrod Taylor, 48, 27 for CJ Stroud, and Michael Penix had 21 against this Buccaneers defense. Good on the ground, defending the run from a running back perspective, but not so good when the quarterback gets on the move. Sam Darnold also probably is only going to – this is a butt clincher chat. Probably 1 to 2 carries you're going to get out of Sam Darnold. You're going to be waiting a lot of the game, or he just cashes it on the first drive. But he did have 1 carry against Arizona for 24 yards. He also had a carry against San Francisco for 14. So it's kind of a boomer bust type of play, but just with how much the Bucs struggle with defending guys on the move out of the pocket, I think that we're going to get Sam having to run around a little bit, make a play with his legs. Give me 6, maybe 10, maybe 15, something like that.
Darnold,
I love this.
The best QBs under pressure too, and it's not just because of his arm; it's because of his mobility. He's willing to get out of the pocket. They run him a lot of bootlegs against this pass rush. That's why they have given up so many yards. A majority of the rush yards they've given up have been to QBs, which is something you don't really see, right? They've done a great job of keeping a lid on running backs, but I like it.
It's the off script plays, yeah. I mean, we saw it, CJ Stroud Monday Night Football. I mean, it's just the pocket breaks down. I don't know if it's the way
CJ Stroud is apparently 45 years old and losing quickness. If he can do it,
Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
I'm starting to think that CJ Stroud is not it, man. Because this guy, I mean, he's not been playing great, but also some of the shit that he says and does is just like that thing he did with Caleb Williams was weird last season. Like this was such a weird, like you can't be a 23-year-old and saying like, I feel old, man. I was like so much better when I was 14. It's like, yeah, no shit, bro. So did I. Crazy.
I do like this too.
Yeah. I think Rashad should get some run. I was looking at some of his props as well, just with no Bucky, unfortunately. All right, I'll close this out with this game I want to talk about. Chargers taking on the Washington Commanders. 3-point favorites are the Chargers, 2.5 in some places, depending on where you guys are shopping around. 47.5 is the total. Justin Herbert and company looking to bounce back after that bad loss last week against the Giants. And Jaden Daniels is back for the Commanders after Mariota spelled him for a couple weeks as he got over that knee injury. No Terry McLaurin, no Scary Terry for this game for the Commanders. So there's that on the side of things. However, as Chewy just said in the chat, JD is back, number 5, and also we got Debo in the house. I kind of lean pretty heavily with the Chargers, boys.
Let's go.
Did you just rip salts? Are we all about to rip salts?
Yeah.
Did he just?
Yeah.
I don't even know
Friday
what
night.
mine are.
Let's get weird. The Chargers looking to bounce back. I like the Chargers. It's our show official play from the Friday Any Given Wager. I feel pretty good about the 2.5. I think they win this game by a touchdown. But I really like, this is probably going to be my staff article play this week. Haven't totally decided, but I think this is going to be it. I really like Quentin Johnston over 59.5 receiving yards. This line's too low, boys. Hit this in every game so far this season. He's been the number one retard. Get some, Jay does. We need to get sponsored. Can we get sponsored by Smelling Salts, chat? He's hit this line in every game. He is the most targeted player by Justin Herbert, and the Commanders have the 27th pass defense. Why is this line 59.5? He just had 90 last week. He's finally got his he must have got the smelling salts he really likes because he's fucking catching everything. I really like this line. I like the ladder too. I think 80 and 90 plus have a lot of value. You can take the longest reception if you want to. He's usually good for a big pop play. But I feel pretty good about the Chargers this week. I think they bounce back and I think they win probably by a touchdown.
I like that a lot, SPJ. I think that this Commanders secondary has been absolutely terrible.
Bad,
I think
man.
Keenan Allen sitting at plus 155. Chat, yeah, like that's just sitting right there. Books are kind of telling us he's got better odds than Quentin Johnson and better odds than Ladd McConkey. I think that this is a team that is going to have a hard time like stopping a guy that's fucking 6'5" and has the catch radius of 2 miles. It feels like in the end zone, you just got blown out by not blown out, but you pretty much it might as well have been an ass kicking in New York. Now you're heading to Washington. This is the time, right? This is the time. I think Keenan Allen steps up, and I really think that the secondary has just been so fucking bad in Washington that Herbert should be able to pick them apart.
27th passing yards allowed. He's got 36 targets coming off a 13 target game against the Giants. He had 9 targets against the Denver Broncos too. I think Ladd is due, as Chat's saying. I don't dislike that. I do think Keenan Allen's in a good spot too. I just think that this passing game is going to have a good game. So maybe Herbert's passing yards is not a bad look either in that regard. You know, kind of just taking all of it roped into one and not have to pick one guy. Could be one of those situations. But I don't know. This might be. I feel like there's value on the Chargers here, boys. It might be
I think
some
everyone's
BTA,
kind of waiting for the QJ drop off. And I think that Harbaugh's had a big influence on what this guy has done. You can say whatever you want, but sometimes having a coach that really believes in you and rides for you, and who knows what they're doing at practice, right? Who knows in which other ways, like on the field, he's actually helped, and same with his coaching staff. I think it's not any accident. Plus, Ladd's coming into his second year, a year after giving a bunch of tape to everybody. I'm sure all eyes are on the second-year wide receiver to make sure he doesn't kind of go off on you.
That's why Quentin Johnston and Keenan Allen have been cooking because there's been a lot of attention paid to, Ladd. So maybe there's going to start to be the defensive going, okay, yeah, Ladd's good, but we can't let these other guys torch us. So let's put some attention over there. I'm sure you guys saw this. David Montgomery playing for his sister this week. That's not really a sexy game, but do you guys have any thoughts on the Bengals? Any fight you think coming from any round from those cats, or is it just going to be Lions eating Bengals all day?
I ain't betting it, but I think that they can cover that just with the emotional aspect of it. How bad we've seen Browning. Like, honestly, dudes weren't even finishing their routes. Even when we've seen T make some insane catches. If you just put it in his vicinity, he can spin around, contort, he can make it happen. But honestly, as someone who bet Cincy last week, I can't get behind them at all.
Yeah,
Bro,
I did. It was absolutely disgusting to watch. I love the Monty angle. This might be the one and only time he plays in Cincinnati. It's not often AFC and NFC teams meet, let alone be doing it in the same city back to back. It's why he hasn't ever played there before. So I would definitely, it's a minus 180. So like definitely don't go nuts. But I mean, he's going to get into the end zone.
That's really funny, man.
I'm gonna leave that one in the comments.
Holy!
You could take that one of two ways. You could take it the way of the David Attenborough version because it's two animals, or you could take it the other way. Which I don't know which way he means, but it doesn't matter.
We know which way he means.
Oh, I know. You guys seen the picture with the little girl sitting on the couch and yeah. Anyway, we'll move on.
That's Jake Browning sitting on the couch this week.
Oh
That's
my
Jake.
God! Okay.
Oh, we
Oh
have
my
to make this.
God.
Please, somebody make this photo. Oh my God!
Nobody make the photo. Nobody make it. Oh my God!
Holy! Don't ask Chewy. Dear God.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody please make that. All right. Good NFL chatter, boys. We've gone AO. All right now. We've gone well over, but the vibes are high to start off the weekend. Thanks for sticking around for the last. If you've been watching us since hour number 1, drop a dub. If you've been with us for the last 2 hours, we appreciate you guys kicking it and hanging out. Give the vibes going into the weekend. Yeah, exactly. Austin, you know what? This is a big glow up moment for us, boys. Starting next week, we will actually have an intern. We've jokingly told you guys that we have an intern locked in the closet for the last 2 years. But next week, we will actually have an intern.
The intern is upgraded from closet intern to real intern. Basically, what happened?
Basic,
Closet
real intern. No, Chewy, respectfully. We love you though. We'll see you. We'll
Dude,
see you
you
next
are
week.
the closet intern. You stay in there.
You're the
alright?
closet intern, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't come out here. You're not allowed out here. You're just kidding. Big vibes, boys. Big vibes. Great show. Fun times, as per usual. We got 2 shows for you guys coming. We have 3 shows tomorrow. Wow, we have 3 on a Saturday. Holy. 3 shows tomorrow. In the morning, Shaggy Bets will get you ready to rock and roll on the pitch, 90 minutes to glory at 9:30 Eastern. Set your alarms. You can just wake up, hangover in sight, and listen to Shaggy give you the moves on the pitch. Then after that, 10:30 Eastern, Betspresso, me, Shags, Trizzy, Sook will be there in the shadows as well, giving you guys the moves on college football, week 6 tomorrow, and also a massive UFC event that's going down. But if you miss this, UFC 320, you can join us 5:30 Eastern. We're doing a full hour like we used to do for the Violence Report, giving you guys going fight by fight. Trizzy's going to give you every single angle, and then he's going to tell us why it's probably not Pereira, unfortunately. Yeah, Kanika, I want it to be Chama so bad, but I think Trizzy told us earlier this week that it may not be Shama, so we'll have to get involved.
Dave.
Let's go, man. Staff picks. Uncle Dave, this made me happy. Tomorrow, midday tomorrow, probably in the early afternoon. So give you plenty of time to lock in the picks. We went 6-6 last week, so obviously not as great as the 11-1 week prior, though. However, we have not week 1 through 4 of the NFL season. We have not had a losing staff article. Every single one has been profitable, which
we've also still got 3 writers with a perfect record. So,
and one of them is right here.
yeah, I was going to give you your flowers, but
thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy. 4-0, chat. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Me, Trizzy, and Chef. V's really sour about it that he picked so many winners last week and gave one staff article.
I gave out Mooney, man.
Mooney. Losers. But yeah, be on the lookout for that on the timeline. Uncle Dave, appreciate you, bro. Skit. Oh, we almost back, big dog. And yes, Chewy, Talk Your Talk will be back. I'm not going to set a for sure date because every time I do that, you guys get mad at me if we don't do it on that day. So it will be back, though. I promise. I promise. We just got a lot of other stuff going on, man. We're adding a bunch of things. We'll get it back, though. I know you guys. It'll be back, Chewy. Relax.
Thank you, man.
Thin ice, right, Chew? Thin ice.
Yeah.
Thin ice.
We love you, too.
Man, we love you guys. We love you guys. We love that you guys tune into the content, and we want to hang out with you guys all the time. But we got to get out of here. What we might do on Sunday, don't hold me to this, what we might do is our friends over at Playback have the option for us to watch Red Zone. Now, there's a possibility that your boy might be free for the early window to watch games with you guys on Playback if you want to watch games with us, because the Titans play in the late window. So I'd be down to watch Red Zone for the first window. The Packers are also on a bye week.
I know. Yeah. I can't take an L this week. Thank God.
Oh,
I
you can
needed
take
it.
so many. What?
Huh?
Wait. Sick. I love you, buddy. Chat, we appreciate you guys. Don't hold us to that. And then Sunday, Gridiron Gang, you guys know the deal. Come and hang out with us before we start the shows. Before we start the slate on Sunday. Go follow V. Go follow Sook. Go follow myself. Go follow all of us at Your Betting News. Hey, guys, do us a favor. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to us right here on Twitch. Drop a sub if you're feeling so frisky. If we've helped you make some money along the way, it helps support the channel. But it'll always be free for you guys forever and ever. Amen.
Follow the TikTok. Go follow the TikTok and Instagram right there. We're posting way more content on both platforms. So if you miss out on winners, you miss out on Danny's college football, you miss out on my touchdown hit that have not been hitting. But this is the week we turn it around. So go follow us on all socials.
Go follow us anywhere and everywhere. Yeah, the TikTok's been fun. Go get involved with all the content over there. Follow all this great graphics Sook has been posting on Instagram too. Gretzky Besky dropped his futures over there as well, which you love to see. Yeah, Chewy, we don't have time, unfortunately. So I mean, we run out of time with the people we have up there.
Chewy, you want us to do a 3-hour show? I'd have to be up at like 5 a.m.
No one wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see my face.
I'll be awake with you probably into 5 a.m. when we're in Chicago together at some point. We'll get there. But all right, guys, appreciate you. Have a fantastic Friday night. Be into the moon. That's a good capper. Boys, it's been a pleasure. Chat, it's been a pleasure. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibes the last 2 hours. We'll catch you guys in the morning, bright and early, tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern. Have a fantastic night tonight. Get out there, have a beverage or two. Be safe, as always. Bet responsibly, and we will catch you on the next one. Take it easy, chat. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the down in the
Now I know y'all be
what you know about